Chapter 32:22. No, the leader of the spiritual movement pavilion quickly shook his head. Although he had a powerful force behind him, he did not want to go against Prince Mo Li. He quickly explained. It was not that he did not want to, but someone had already taken the best seat. The three of them are honorable, so I can't do anything to them. I hope Prince Mo Li can forgive me. Humph! Prince Mo Li snorted. Who dares to take the seat in front of me? I want to see. He ignored the leader of the spiritual movement pavilion and turned around to speak to the young men behind him. Everyone, I'm sorry for making a fool of myself. But don't worry, I'll go up and take care of them. Prince Mo Li waved his hand and took a few experts with him as he walked forward. The young men also showed a joking expression. Oh, there's a good show to watch. Well, let's go and see. They also walked up. In an instant, these people gathered on the third floor of the spiritual movement pavilion. With the arrival of Prince Mo Li and the others, everyone on the third floor of the spiritual movement pavilion raised their heads. In the next moment, their faces changed. Who were these people? What a strong aura. There were several half-saints in heaven. That was Prince Mo Li. Many people exclaimed. They all knew about Prince Mo Li. Why was he here? And he looked aggressive. Who dared to provoke Prince Mo Li? After Prince Mo Li brought his men up, he stared at the best seat in the distance. In the next moment, his voice turned into a terrifying energy and drilled into the array in front of him. Get out of there! This scene caused the surrounding martial artists to be extremely shocked. They knew that the three people who had entered the seats of honor earlier were all half-saints. It seemed that something big was going to happen. As expected, in the array, Lin Xian frowned. The three brothers were stunned. Then their faces darkened. Damn it, who dared to disturb them? Who dared to ask them to get out? Lin Gongzi, please wait. I'll go and see who it is. The third brother of Yu Hung stood up. Who was it? Did he want to die? The third brother of Yu Hung came out and shouted coldly. But soon he was stunned, because he found a group of people standing in front of him, a group of extremely powerful people. He was very familiar with the leader. The next moment he exclaimed, Prince Mo Li. Big brother, this is bad. Prince Mo Li has brought people here. Yu Hung's third brother hurriedly transmitted his voice. After Boss Yu Hung heard this, his expression also changed. With a wave of his hand, the formation was removed, and the first and second Yu Hung walked out. They looked ahead with solemn expressions. It was indeed Prince Mo Li. The atmosphere on the third floor was extremely tense. Only Lin Xian was still sitting there quietly, calmly sipping his tea. It turned out to be Prince Mo Li. What business does your highness have with us? Boss Yu Hung cupped his fists and said, Who are you people? Prince demonically frowned. He could also feel that the three people before him were half-saints. From the looks of it, the other party's background should not be small. We are the three Yu Hung brothers. What? The three Yu Hung brothers? As soon as he said this, many people around him exclaimed in surprise. Yu Hung and his brothers. Could it be the three of them? Heaven, they were extremely powerful. On the Abyss Stone tablet, they were ranked in the top 20. When the three of them joined forces, they were extremely terrifying. Obviously, everyone had heard of the name of the three Yu Hung brothers. This made the three Yu Hung brothers very proud, in their opinion. So, what if the other party was Prince Mo Li? They would definitely give them face. Prince Mo Li squinted his eyes. The three Yu Hung brothers? But soon he snorted coldly. If it was just him, he would definitely rope in the three Yu Hung brothers. But now he did not need to do so, because the people he brought this time were even more powerful than the three Yu Hung brothers. Behind Prince Mo Li, there was a disdainful voice. So it's just the three Yu Hung brothers. You three trash dare to be arrogant in front of me? As soon as this was said, everyone's expression changed. Someone dared to not give face to the three Yu Hung brothers? This was simply too shocking. It should be known that Prince Emoli would try his best to rope in the three Yuheng brothers. One could imagine how terrifying the three Yuheng brothers were. Moreover, when the three brothers joined forces, they would definitely be terrifying. Ordinary people would not be enemies with the three brothers. Hearing this, the three Yuheng brothers were immediately enraged. Who dared to call them trash? The third Yuheng brother roared. Beside him, there was a snowstorm. The snowstorm drifted, and the temperature of the entire third level dropped rapidly. The law of ice fragment. Everyone was horrified. They all retreated to the side. If I say you're trash, you're trash. What, you're not convinced? On Prince Emoli's side, a figure walked out. Heavenly Water Ant, it's actually you. The third Yuheng brother screamed, as if he had seen a ghost. The first and second Yuheng brothers also changed their expressions. Since you know who I am, why don't you get lost? The man who walked out was wearing a blue robe. On his cheeks, there were silver-white scales flashing. The expressions of the surrounding experts also changed. Heavenly Water Ant, could it be that the first orange name on the Abyss leaderboard? These people were all stunned. One should know that although the Yuheng brothers were powerful, the three of them could fight the top 10 orange names. But they were only around the 10th place. But now, the person who walked out was the first orange name on the list. The opponent's strength was much stronger than the three Yuheng brothers. He was very close to the purple name. Therefore, in the eyes of the crowd, the Yuhengshan brothers had been thoroughly defeated this time. Humph! The people on Prince Emoli's side also sneered, as if they were watching a show. Heavenly Water Ant stood up and said proudly, "Now kneel down and count out to me 10 times. If I'm in a good mood, I'll let you go. Otherwise, I'll let you taste the feeling of having your heart eaten by 10,000 poisons." As expected of Heavenly Water Ant, he was domineering. Yes, the three Yuheng brothers were definitely dead. Who asked them to be so reckless as to offend Prince Emoli? They did not expect Prince Emoli to bring Heavenly Water Ant this time. They guessed that the people around him were all top geniuses. To be honest, the three Yuheng brothers were also very nervous. They did not expect Prince Emoli to invite Heavenly Water Ant. They really kicked a metal plate. But this time, the three of them were not too afraid. They even sneered. There were people on the other side. Behind them, there was also a terrifying existence. And this existence would probably make the Heavenly Water Ant kneel on the ground. The first Yuheng brother walked out and said coldly, "So you belong to the side. Why are you here? If there's nothing, hurry up and leave. Don't disturb our Lin Gongzi drinking tea. What's going on?" The surrounding people were so scared that they knelt on the ground. Chapter 32:23. Heavens, they couldn't believe their ears. What was Boss Yuheng doing? Boss Yuheng actually dared to challenge Sky Water Ant. Did he still want to live? As expected, Sky Water Ant's face darkened and a cold glint exploded from his eyes. Beside him, countless fragments of the law of water appeared. Have you three brothers lost your minds recently? You actually dare to challenge me? Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Sky Water Ant took a step forward, and the entire space turned into a sea. Sky Water Ant, don't be arrogant. Yuheng and his brothers froze. They quickly activated their law fragments to resist. At the same time, Boss Yuheng roared, "Do you think you're arrogant? Let me give you a word of advice. Leave quickly. Lin Gongzi is standing behind me. He's not someone you can provoke. Leave quickly and you can live. Otherwise, you'll suffer a terrible fate." Yuheng's second and third brothers also roared, "You want me to leave? I'll suffer a terrible fate." When Sky Water Ant heard that, he roared with laughter. "Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. If Long Tianjiao or Di Ling were to say such words, I would turn and leave. Even an apology would do. But who do you think you are? Someone like him dares to say such words to me?" Sky Water Ant was very disdainful. When he entered, he had already observed Lin Xian. He did not know Lin Xian. Moreover, he did not sense any terrifying aura from Lin Xian. He was already number one with an orange name. As long as someone with a purple name did not appear, he would not be afraid. He would not be afraid of a powerful warrior like the demonically prince. Who did he think he was? How dare he show off in front of him? When Boss Yuheng heard that, he sneered. Sky Water Ant, since you're courting death, don't blame me. Listen carefully. At this point, his voice suddenly became loud and clear, spreading in all directions. Lin Gongzi behind me is number one with a purple name on the Abyss leaderboard. Sky Water Ant, hurry up and kneel, kowtow, and admit your mistake. His voice rumbled like thunder. The surrounding people were all stunned. What? Number one with a purple name on the Abyss leaderboard. Heavens, how is this possible? When the Sky Water Ant heard this, he laughed heartily. I say, you three trash's heads are really stuck in a door. The purple one is ranked first, but it's an imperial mausoleum. Who is this kid? Why have I never heard of him? He laughed until tears came out of his eyes. Initially, he thought that the other party was a formidable genius. Who would have thought that the other party was actually a swindler? These three Yuheng brothers are really idiots. The first place on the Abyss rankings had been maintained for over 100 years, and it had always been Di Ling. When had it ever changed? Are we idiots? I think you're the idiot. Yu Heng's second brother also sneered. How many years ago was your information? Our Lin Gongzi had just obtained first place. It was on par with the Imperial Mausoleum. I advise you to apologize quickly. What? First place? It was on par with the Imperial Mausoleum. How dare someone like him claim to be number one? The Sky Water Ant sneered. He took a step forward, and the endless sea turned into huge waves that surged forward. The terrifying fragments of the law of water rushed over. The faces of the Yuheng brothers changed as they roared madly. However, in the next moment, they were sent flying. So powerful! This Sky Water Ant was really too terrifying. The other party's aura alone made them unable to resist. Was this the orange one ranked first? It was really too powerful. The Yuheng brothers were shocked. The surrounding people were even more horrified. It seemed that this time, the person who offended the Sky Water Ant was really dead. The Yuheng brothers' faces were ugly. They could not beat the Sky Water Ant at all. They could only look at Lin Xian. Lin Xian's expression was calm. The terrifying wave attack just now did not cause any harm to him at all. He slowly put down the glazed teacup. Then he raised his head and looked to the front left. The Law of Water Fragment, Sky Water Ant, the orange one, ranked first. Lin Xian said 3 titles in a row. The power was not bad, but that was all. I have no interest in fighting with you. Leave quickly. Lin Xian waved his hand. You're really courting death. Do you really think you're the purple one ranked first? How dare you say such words to me? The Sky Water Ant's eyes shone with a piercing light. The surrounding geniuses, Prince Mo Li and the others, all sneered. Daring to offend the Sky Water Ant would definitely lead to a tragic end. The Sky Water Ant was furious. His palm pushed out horizontally. Suddenly, the terrifying law of water fragments intertwined, dyeing the entire void blue. The monstrous ocean and violent waves shattered the void, instantly enveloping Lin Xian. Die for me! Ocean bind! This attack was very terrifying. Even if a half-saint was enveloped by it, he would be ground into a bloody mist by the strangling power of the ocean. Lin Xian felt the terrifying law of water fragments forming a strangling power, trying to crush his body. However, his body wasn't so easily broken. The law of water fragments hit his body, making clanging sounds. It was like a million thunderbolts. However, Lin Xian sat there, allowing the other party to hit him without moving an inch. When the seawater disappeared, the surrounding people were stunned. The Sky Water Ant's pupils shrank. How could he not be injured? He felt like he was dreaming. His opponent should have been turned into a bloody mist. Why was he not injured at all? What kind of body did that damn brat have? Was he still human? The Prince Mo Lee and the others were also shocked. If his opponent was not wearing any top-tier armor, his body would be too terrifying. Good boy, you do have some skills. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant and go against me. However, do you think that your body is strong enough to withstand my law of water? You are too naive. Water demon pressure. Explode. As the sky water ant roared, the void above Lin Xian kept shattering, forming a terrifying black hole. Endless fragments of the law of water formed 9,999 waves that came crashing down from the sky. The pressure was too strong. The surrounding people all vomited blood and flew backward, their faces full of horror. Even the bodies of Yu Hong and his brothers trembled as they retreated to the side. Under the water pressure, they could not resist at all. Even their souls would be crushed. Ha ha! Let's see how you die this time. The sky water ant's lips curled into a cold smile. This time, he did not believe that Lin Xian could withstand it. Facing the 9,999 terrifying waves, Lin Xian's 9 sons' divine body shone with an unparalleled radiance to contend against them. The next moment, he looked up. Golden runes flashed in his eyes, turning into golden law fragments, forming a golden sword light that shot upward. The sword rippled, and the surrounding void was completely golden. Everyone trembled, as if they had been pierced by the sword. Something shocking happened. Chapter 32:24. 9,999 terrifying waves were split open by the sword. A terrifying crack appeared in the middle, and it could not be healed. What? It was split open. Prince Mo Lee and the others were shocked. Sky Water Ant's pupils shrank. This was impossible. He screamed like a madman. On the other side, Lin Xian stood up. As he stood up, the golden sword light on his body filled the 9 heavens and 10 lands. All the waves in the void were pierced through and obliterated by the sword chi. You want to fight me? Are you sure? Lin Xian asked coldly. His words transformed into tens of thousands of golden sword lights that pressed down on the void, causing Prince Mo Lee and the others to tremble. The sky water ant's face turned pale. Just the terrifying power in the voice caused the blood in his body to churn. Damn it. Who is this person? Why have I never heard of such a terrifying young expert? Who the hell are you? Sky Water Ant asked in a low voice. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. I am Lin Wudi. Yu Hong and his brothers shouted excitedly from afar. Ha! Sky Water Ant, I told you that Lin Gongzi is the new #1 on the Abyss board. How dare you challenge him? You are overestimating yourself. Lin Wudi, the new #1 on the Abyss board. The crowd was shocked. They did not believe it before and thought it was a joke. But now they had to believe it. Sky Water Ant was terrifying. He was the #1 on the orange ranking. But now he was suppressed by Lin Wudi's aura and could not fight back. Only the #1 on the purple ranking could do such a thing. So it was Lin Gongzi. Please forgive me. Sky Water Ant clenched his fist and said. Although he was unwilling, he did not dare to fight again. The aura that Lin Wudi gave off was too powerful. Lin Xian nodded slightly and put away the golden sword light that filled the sky. He sat down again and poured himself a cup. Yu Hong and his brothers heaved a sigh of relief and walked over. They looked around with pride in their eyes. Prince Mo Lee also walked out. It was Lin Gongzi. Sorry. I wonder if young Master Lin would do me the honor and allow me to properly entertain you. Prince Mo Lee wanted to rope Lin Xian in. After all, Lin Xian was the first on the purple ranking. They were very strong, far surpassing the heavenly water ant and the others. If he could win over the fallen kingdom, then he would undoubtedly become the crown prince of the fallen kingdom. Furthermore, he would become the next emperor. Not interested, Lin Xian said indifferently. Hearing this, Prince Emoli frowned. At this moment, a black-robed man beside him snorted. Brat, you really refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. The prince gave you face, and you actually dared to refuse? Did he really think that he could strut around just because he was number one on the leaderboard? He was really courting death. Don't forget, this is the place where you feel most at ease. This man was one of the generals under Prince Emoli. His strength had reached the sage-to-be level, and he was very strong. Moreover, he cultivated the law of darkness. Although he did not participate in the Abyss test, he was very confident in himself. Previously, he was somewhat disdainful of the heavenly water ant and the others. In his opinion, as long as the prince was willing, all these people would come over. They would submit to the prince. But now, the prince had extended an invitation, and the other party dared to refuse. This made him feel incomparably furious. Not good. Hearing this, the heavenly water ant's expression changed. Prince Emoli raised his eyebrows and was about to stop him. In the next moment, they were stunned, because Lin Xian snorted. Noisy! With a wave of his hand, a flaming palm surged over and instantly hit the black-robed man, sending him flying. Smack! A clear sound was heard. The black-robed man's face was smashed. Get lost! Lin Xian said coldly. This scene was too sudden. The surrounding people were all stunned. Even the Yu Hengshan brothers were stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so decisive. He dared to hit the people around Prince Emoli roar. I'll kill you. The black-robed man flew over. Black law fragments appeared on his body, and a terrifying aura surged out. The surrounding light suddenly dimmed, as if it was going to be night. Abyss! Prince Emoli reached out and stopped him. He then turned around and stared at Lin Xian. You dare to hit my people? That's a bit too overbearing. It seemed that Prince Emoli was angry. The people around him were trembling in fear. Lin Xian shook the teacup in his hand and said indifferently, Your people? Then control them well. Don't let them yell in front of me, because you don't have the right. Arrogant! Everyone's scalp went numb. They already thought that Prince Emoli was arrogant enough, but they did not expect Lin Xian to be even more arrogant than them. Not qualified? He said that Prince Emoli and the others were not qualified. How arrogant was that? Good, good, good. Hearing those arrogant words, Prince Emoli was so angry that he laughed. I'm not qualified? How many years has it been since someone dared to talk to me like that? Previously, I respected you as a prodigy and thought that you were a promising talent. That's why I invited you. Since you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me. Abyss, you can do it now. Roar! The black-robed man roared and rushed over. In the next moment, the entire third floor was plunged into complete darkness. It was so dark that one couldn't even see their own fingers. Everyone seemed to have been robbed of their vision and soul senses. Law of darkness. Countless people screamed in horror and hid in the corner, not daring to show their faces. Yu Heng and his brothers were also shocked. They quickly defended, and at the same time, they quickly retreated. They could not withstand the energy at all. Lin Xian snorted. Law of darkness? Do you really think that you can rob all light? Let me tell you today, there are strong and weak laws. Lin Xian's voice rang out. In the next moment, the law of fire shone on his body and burned fiercely. The 9-yang divine body erupted with an unparalleled light. Suddenly, like a flame in the darkness, it appeared in an instant. At this moment, everyone saw it, and they were incomparably shocked. Heaven could actually soar with fire. This person's law of fire was so powerful. Extinguish. In the void, a cold voice came. The law of darkness quickly swallowed the fire. However, he could not do it at all. The fire from the beginning became stronger and stronger. Finally, like a sea of fire, it began to spread in all directions. The darkness faded. A figure appeared in midair. He stopped there with an awkward expression, and his eyes were filled with shock. He was the black-robed man. At this moment, the black-robed man had already flown behind Lin Xian and was ready to attack. However, before he could make a move, his law of darkness had already been broken. Sneak attack me? Lin Xian turned his head, his eyes bursting with a cold light. He clenched his fist and punched out. With a whoosh! At this moment, Lin Xian became the god of fire. The violent fist turned into a fire dragon that spread out and pierced through the 9 heavens. Boom! The black-robed man was sent flying in an instant, his body torn apart. Chapter 32:25. He screamed and ran back to Prince Mo Li's side to reassemble his body. His face was incomparably pale, and his eyes were filled with intense fear. Get lost! Lin Xian said again. Kid, you're too arrogant. Prince Mo Li was trembling with anger. Yi Fuqian was in his territory, and he asked him to get lost. If this got out, how could he survive in the future? How could he fight for the position of crown prince? Everyone, please lend me a helping hand. Prince Mo Li turned around and bowed slightly to the young geniuses behind him. What? The geniuses behind him were stunned. They were here to help Prince Mo Li, but they did not expect Prince Mo Li to ask them to deal with the number 1 on the Abyss leaderboard. They hesitated. Don't worry, I have experts on my side too. As he spoke, 2 old men walked out from beside him. At the same time, he continued. This person is strong, but I'm sure he can't be number 1 on the leaderboard. Maybe he's just a purple name and came out to show off his power. Can't we take him down if we work together? Don't worry, as long as we take him down, I'll double the conditions I promised you before. Really? The genius's pupils shrank. Double the amount. This was simply too generous. They did not agree to help Prince Mo Li unconditionally. They must have agreed on the conditions. However, if the conditions were doubled, even they would not be able to refuse. All right. Skywater Ant gritted his teeth and nodded. The other geniuses around him nodded as well. All right, let's work together. I'd like to see how strong this kid is. The geniuses stepped forward. At the same time, there were 2 other elders. There were 7 of them, 7 half-saints facing Lin Xian together. The people around them were going crazy. Oh my God, this lineup is too strong. Can he really take it? Even the number 1 on the Abyss leaderboard might not be able to take it. After all, there are 7 half-saints. Every one of them is terrifying. Now that they're working together, they're definitely strong. Master, be careful. Yu Heng and his brothers also walked up. They looked very nervous. 7 half-saints. Every one of them is stronger than them. Even if one of them attacked, the 3 brothers would have to fight with all their strength. Such a lineup was simply too terrifying. Therefore, they began to worry about Lin Xian. Young master, if the 3 of us work together, we can hold back one of them. No, at most, we can fight against 2. As for the remaining 5, before boss could finish speaking, Lin Xian waved his hand. No need, you guys can just stand aside and watch. What? After a while, the boss was stunned. The 2 brothers beside him were also stunned. What was the meaning of this? From the looks of it, he seemed to want to fight 7 half-saints alone. Thinking of this possibility, the 3 brothers sucked in a breath of cold air. Heavens, isn't this too unbelievable? Lin Xian walked out, looked to the front, and said coldly, do the 7 of you really want to fight me? Kid, if you apologize obediently now, we can still give you a way out. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. An elder said coldly. He was also one of Mo Li's men. Bow his head and apologize? I'm afraid you don't have the qualifications to do so, right? Lin Xian shook his head in disdain. Show me what you've got. This kid, does he really want to fight? Those were 7 half-saints. After all, the surrounding people were all stunned. The half-saints on the opposite side were also angry, and then their faces darkened. Their eyes were filled with monstrous anger. How dare he look down on them? Good kid, you're really arrogant. However, I wonder if you have the ability to be arrogant. He Yuan sneered. He first used the law of darkness. Suddenly, the sky darkened and one couldn't see his fingers in front of him. At the same time, the 7 half-saints on the opposite side quickly rushed over. It's over. That kid is really dead this time. This was the thought in everyone's mind. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Monstrous light rushed out of his body, and he instantly broke the law of darkness. At this time, the 7 half-saints were still in front of him and firmly surrounded him. Sword of Darkness. In He Yuan's hand, the law of darkness condensed into a pitch-black demonic sword emitting a cold aura. The sword pierced toward Lin Xian's head. Buzz. On the other side, a blue rod pressed down from the sky like a mountain. The void was instantly blasted apart. Terrifying law fragments danced in the air. The one who attacked was the sky water ant. At this moment, he no longer had a handsome appearance, but was incomparably ferocious. His body was much larger than before. Countless silver-white scales appeared on his body. He was one of the 10,000 ancient races, the descendant of the ancient heavenly horned ant. The ancient heavenly horned ant had great strength and boundless strength. The sky water ant inherited this bloodline, so its strength was extremely terrifying. In addition, what he comprehended was the law of water. With a monstrous aura, he instantly destroyed everything. Everyone felt that their bodies were about to collapse. The other 5 half-saints also attacked crazily. Each of them was extremely terrifying. It's over. The Yu Hung brothers and the others trembled. If they faced such an attack, they would probably be instantly turned into ashes. Lin Xian faced the 7 half-saints' terrifying attacks and shouted angrily. Immediately, his palm danced, and the power of annihilation formed a vortex around him. Immediately, all of the attacks rapidly collapsed under the law of annihilation. To actually be able to neutralize our attacks, we really underestimated you. But so what? This time, the 7 of us joined hands. Can you neutralize it? An old man sneered. It was indeed so. Although the 7 people's attacks were dim, it was impossible to shatter them. Especially the sky water ant's attack. It was barely affected. Lin Xian snorted coldly and urged the law of annihilation again, finally destroying 2 people's attacks. However, although the other 5 people's attacks were dim, they still shattered the law of annihilation fragments. Haha, kid, let's see what ability you have this time. Go to hell for me. These people were ferocious. Lin Xian was fearless. With a wave of his palm, the boundless sea waves surged out again. The boundless sea instantly formed a soft power, making these people's attacks seem to have entered a swamp, being blocked again. The law of water. The sky water ant's pupils constricted. The other party actually also knew the law of water. This kid actually grasped 2 types of laws. This really surprised them. The sky water ant's expression was solemn. He remembered that the other party should also know a golden law. Previously, it was that golden law that split his attack apart with a sword. Heavens, could it be that he knows 3 types of laws? Thinking of this, his expression turned cold. Today, he might be able to take this opportunity to get rid of this guy. The power of Lin Xian's law was beyond their imagination. Therefore, the law of water fragment broke the 3 people's attacks again. In the end, there were only 3 people left. They were He Yuan, the sky water ant, and the old man. The 3 of them charged through the seawater and charged towards Lin Xian. This time, You don't have any special abilities, right? Let's see how you can dodge this. Chapter 32:26. Lin Xian was extremely calm as he looked at the three people charging at him. Did he not have any superpower? What a joke. A beam of golden sword chi shot out from his left hand and slashed at Skywater Ant. His right hand turned into a sun and blasted at Hei Yuan. As for the black-robed elder, he did not care at all. Boom. The next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The Golden Rule sword tore Skywater Ant's attack apart. Not only that, Skywater Ant's arms were shattered again. He spat out blood and flew backward. Hei Yuan did not have it easy either. The golden fist bloomed with unparalleled flames like a real sun. He was still bleeding, and the precepts on him were almost ignited. He let out a miserable cry and flew out as well. Seeing this, the people in the distance were shocked. Prince Emoli held his breath, because they still had one more person. That was indeed the case. The last black-robed old man smiled coldly. Great, he was too careless. Although he had defeated two half-saints, he still had him. His attack could definitely severely injure him. If he was lucky, he could even kill him in one move. Clang! The superpower in his hand blasted at Lin Xian, bursting with unparalleled light. The surrounding space began to shatter rapidly. Huge cracks began to appear one after another. You're dead now, the black-robed elder sneered. But soon his smile froze. How could this be? You're not dead? He was stunned. In the sky full of energy, Lin Xian turned his head and stared at him with cold eyes. Oh no, he was not injured. His physique was way too strong. What kind of body was this? The black-robed elder was scared out of his wits. He turned around and tried to escape. He screamed as his body was split in half. A golden rule sword fell from the sky and slashed the void. At the same time, it split the black-robed elder. The black-robed patriarch screamed in agony. The law fragments on his body flashed rapidly as he tried to reassemble his body. Lin Xian harumphed coldly. With a swing of his golden sword, the fragments of the rules of metal transformed into a golden lotus, encapsulating the old man's figure once again. He executed the heavenly secret divine eyes, and his golden pupils combined with the law of fire fragment to execute the soul-burning secret technique. It ignited the soul of the black-robed old man. The black-robed old man screamed like a madman as he was instantly killed. What? Dead. A half-saint was mercilessly slaughtered, just like that. Those people were all stunned. They did not dare to believe what was happening before their eyes, especially Prince Emoli and the others. Their bodies trembled, and they almost knelt on the ground. Wasn't this a little too powerful? The 7 half-saints attacked, but they were unable to do anything to him. Instead, they were injured by him. He had even killed a half-saint. This kind of battle record was really unimaginable. After killing the black-robed old man, Lin Xian turned his head and looked at Skywater Ant, Hei Yuan, and the others. Immediately, the 6 half-saints trembled. Skywater Ant and Hei Yuan's scalps were about to explode. Their eyes were filled with endless fear. Too powerful. Damn it. Could it be that he was really ranked first? At this moment, they no longer dared to have any doubts. This kind of strength was absolutely terrifying. Now they should think about how to save their own lives. Seeing Lin Xian's aura getting stronger and stronger, as if he had no intention of stopping, he quickly screamed, "Stop! Don't fight anymore!" Boom. Lin Xian didn't pay attention to the other party's words. He took a step forward, and his palm, accompanied by terrifying laws, blasted out. This punch was extremely heavy, as if 100,000 mountains were pressing down from the sky. The fragment of the law of earth rushed over with a terrifying fist. Don't fight anymore? What a joke! These people wanted to kill him. Now that they couldn't beat him, they gave up. There was no such logic in this world. Boom. Lin Xian's punch was extremely powerful. Opposite him, He Yuan Skywater Ant, and the others felt their scalps tingle. They quickly dodged, but the area covered by the fist was simply too wide. They couldn't dodge it, not to mention them. Even Prince Mo Li was within the attack range of this punch. See God's shield. The sky water ant roared furiously as boundless water laws formed a dense shield of light around him. It was like 100,000 waves of the sea that surrounded him. He Yuan also blended into the darkness, as if he had turned into a black cloud. The other half-saints also quickly defended. Even Prince Mo Li huffed coldly. Gray demonic runes appeared on his body. Boom. After this attack, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The void cracked. The entire spiritual movement pavilion was shaking nonstop. The surrounding array flickered, as if it was about to break. It was too terrifying. If it weren't for the protection of the spiritual movement pavilion's top array, this attack would have turned it into ashes. After this attack, the half-saints' blood boiled. Their faces paled. His expression was grave. This attack was too powerful. It was as if a star was pressing down on them. Even their bones were split open. Boom. After one punch, another one came. Lin Xian used the law of earth, which became heavier and heavier. It was as if it really carried the world of stars to fight against his opponent. Hazy mountains appeared in the sky. One after another, they were tens of thousands of feet tall. This superpower made these people scream in fear. Stop. We admit defeat. Stop fighting. Sky Water Ant also screamed. Many of his bones had already been broken. Prince Mo Li roared and quickly attacked. I'm the prince of the fallen country. If you kill me, I'll make sure you can't leave the fallen star. Hum. As soon as Prince Mo Li finished speaking, a blue thunderbolt fell from the sky among the countless mountain shadows. It turned into a sword shadow and instantly split Prince Mo Li's body. Prince Mo Li's soul screamed. He regrouped with his body and quickly retreated. The surrounding half-saints surrounded Prince Mo Li, protecting him. At the same time, they were terrified. How could Yi Fuqian split a prince with one move under the protection of so many half-saints? This was too overpowered. I was wrong before. Please forgive me. Sky Water Ant didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. He quickly apologized. Beside him, He Yuan still wanted to resist, but the next moment, he was punched again. He also quickly begged for mercy. Lin Gongzi, I was wrong. I apologize. The surrounding half-saints all apologized. For a moment, no one dared to fight against Lin Xian. Lin Xian retracted his fist, but the law of earth fragments were still circling in the sky. Thousands of mountains pressed down on the sky, making it hard for people to breathe. He looked ahead and said coldly, Is an apology enough? I can take your lives, but you must break your own arms and pierce your own hearts with a martial sword. This was a punishment usually used by the large sects of the sacred lands to punish disciples who broke the rules. Now Lin Xian wanted to use this punishment to deal with Sky Water Ant, He Yuan, and the others. Hearing this, Sky Water Ant, He Yuan, and the others' expressions turned ugly. If they did that, wouldn't they admit that they were juniors to Yi Fuqian? How could they accept that? Chapter 32:27. You don't want to? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Suddenly, the law of earth pressed down from the sky. Fragments of the law of fire circled around him, and a light sword of the law of gold flowed between his palms. Lin Xian's actions made Sky Water Ant, He Yuan, and the others feel their scalps tingle. They knew that if they did not act, they would end up in a miserable state. So in the next moment, these people gritted their teeth and roared. The light of the law cut off their arms. Then it formed a light sword and pierced their hearts. Poof! Half Saint Snow fell, and the scene was very shocking. The experts who were watching the battle were all stunned. Oh my God! Did these people really bow down? Several half-saints were stunned. Such a cruel punishment. But they all bowed their heads to Lin Xian. Lin Xian looked away from these people, and then at Prince Mo Li and the others. He said coldly, "What about you?" "What?" Prince Mo Li's face darkened. Damn it! Did Yi Fuqian want him to use the same punishment? How could he bow down to someone else? After all, he was the prince of fallen country. Kid, you're too arrogant. You want me to bow down to you? You're overestimating yourself. I had some trump cards that I didn't want to use. But since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Elder Huiyu, come out. As Prince Mo Li's voice fell, the void behind him shattered, and a figure walked out. It was an elder with a pair of gray wings on his back. He emitted a terrible and overwhelming aura. He took a step forward, and the entire world began to shake. Everyone was shocked. Hei Yuan, Sky Water Ant, and the others' pupils shrank. A half-saint, and an extremely powerful one at that. Was this a protector? They were stunned. They did not expect Prince Mo Li to have a protector. Elder Huiyu walked out. He looked at Lin Xian with a grave expression. The reason for that was because he could sense a terrifying power from Lin Xian's body. He was an expert. "We can't fight here. Why don't we fight outside?" Elder Huiyu said coldly. "Okay." Lin Xian strode out. The two of them exited the Spirit Movement Pavilion. Elder Huiyu let out a long laugh and informed the city lord to activate the ancient battle platform. His voice reverberated throughout the city. Instantly, everyone was stunned. What? Ancient battle platform? Someone wanted to activate the ancient battle platform? Heavens, who is it that wants a life and death battle? The ancient battle platform hasn't been open for over 1,000 years, right? These people were all crazy. Hei Yuan, Sky Water Ant, and the others were also extremely shocked. The Yuheng brothers were extremely nervous. Prince Mo Li smirked coldly. He was confident in his protector. Within the city, the ground trembled and the array formation rumbled. An ancient battle platform slowly appeared. This battle platform was extremely simple and unadorned. Furthermore, it was extremely huge and was covered with Dao runes. This was a place where experts fought in ancient times. In fact, it was stained with the blood of countless experts. It was accompanied by a monstrous aura. Bring it on! Elder Hei, you landed on the ancient battle platform and looked at Lin Xian. Let me see what capabilities you have to say such words to the prince of Mo Li ancient battle platform. Protector. Lin Xian squinted his eyes and spoke. Someone like him deserved a protector? He probably couldn't even walk on the Dao. Lin Xian's voice was filled with disdain. A protector was a configuration that only top geniuses had. However, in Lin Xian's eyes, the Prince of Mo Li was not a top genius. He was probably just an ordinary martial artist. He might even be inferior to an ordinary martial artist. When the others heard this, their scalps went numb. The Prince of Mo Li's face was terrifyingly dark. He was so angry that his entire body trembled. Elder Heiyu, kill him for me. No one had ever dared to look down on him like this. There was no point in talking. Let's do it. Elder Heiyu snorted coldly. Suddenly, he let out a long howl. Gray laws circled in the sky, forming a gray pagoda. It floated up and down. Falling laws. When Hei Yuan, Sky Water Ant, and the others saw this, their scalps went numb. He had actually comprehended the falling laws. Heavens, that Lin Xian was probably in danger. Yes, the falling laws. However, the laws in the falling star would definitely be more powerful if used here. That kid would probably be difficult to deal with. The surrounding half-saints discussed fervently. None of them were optimistic about Lin Xian's chances. Yu Heng and his brothers were even more nervous. Falling laws? They were about to faint from fright. They did not know if Lin Gongzi could withstand it. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. Falling laws? Very well, let me experience it for myself. He was not even afraid of falling into the abyss. Why would he be afraid of the falling laws? He formed a seal with his palm. Countless fragments of the fire laws formed a golden crow. It followed his palm and pushed out. Boom! The golden crow spread its wings and soared. A sea of fire filled the sky, dyeing the entire sky red. The huge ancient battle platform was completely enveloped. Buzz! This surge of energy directly activated the array on the fighting stage. Tao inscriptions appeared and covered the sky, completely enveloping the battle platform. The onlookers outside heaved a sigh of relief. Otherwise, they would not be able to withstand the aftermath of this energy. He actually dared to take the initiative to attack. Elder Huiyu roared and waved his hand. Immediately, the gray pagoda above his head rapidly descended. There were terrifying runes on the pagoda, along with the fragments of the falling laws. The aura that hung down turned into the shadow of the falling abyss and enveloped Lin Xian. With a boom, he collided with the golden crow. In the next moment, energy filled the sky. Endless fragments of laws surrounded them in all directions. After one exchange, the two stopped. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back, looking calm. Opposite him, Elder Huiyu laughed loudly. Good, not bad. You are indeed a top genius. In the past 800 years as a guardian, I have killed many top geniuses. Today, you will not be an exception. He roared, and the gray wings on his back flapped rapidly, leaving behind an afterimage in the sky. In an instant, he turned into a black lightning bolt and rushed over. The gray pagoda above his head was also constantly attacking. The falling laws caused the entire battle platform to be in chaos. Fall for me. The falling laws were not only powerful, but they could also affect a person's soul, causing them to fall and not want to fight. They would become depressed and eventually turn into a pile of bones. When the falling laws appeared, the martial artists watching the battle from afar shook their heads and sighed. They had heavy hearts and looked like they wanted to commit suicide. Lin Xian was the first to bear the brunt. His soul felt an extremely strong impact, but soon he snorted coldly. You want to destroy my soul with a mere falling laws? You are overestimating yourself. Die for me. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared. Lin Xian's expression was extremely ferocious. His eyes shone with a biting cold light. The golden sword of laws shone and slashed down with the great dragon sword soul. Chapter 32:28. Clang. The metal law focused on attacking, and the dragon sword soul could destroy everything. When the two were combined, the power was truly terrifying to the extreme. The sword sliced apart the gray fog, and even the weakest nomological fragment was sliced apart. The gray pagoda was sent flying by the sword and kept shaking. So powerful! Seeing this, Elder Grey Robe's pupils shrank. His opponent's sword chi was so sharp that it made his hair stand on end. The next moment, he screamed, because he found that the sword light had become terrifying again. It was like a golden dragon, rushing toward him. At the same time, countless mountains appeared around him, surrounding him. There were also terrifying waves above and below him, about to swallow him. Oh no, 3 laws! Elder Grey Robe was scared out of his wits. He yelled and performed a secret technique. Boom! The attacks of the 3 laws shattered the world and turned it into nothingness. The surrounding half-saints trembled. Prince Mo Li and the others were also pale. It was too powerful. They couldn't resist it at all. He wondered if the gray-robed elder would be able to block it. They'd been worried about Lin Xian, but in an instant, they found that the situation had taken a shocking turn. Lin Xian was too powerful. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He saw what was happening with God's eye of weather. He saw Elder Grey Robe controlling the falling pagoda to block it. It was fixed in the void. Behind him, there was a huge crack very similar to the falling abyss. That big crack swallowed all the surrounding energy and laws. Was this the illusion of the falling abyss? Had he forcefully performed it? Lin Xian was shocked. It was indeed the law of falling. On the falling star, it was extremely powerful. Indeed, if it were anywhere else, Elder Grey Robe would have been killed. But on the falling star, there were falling auras everywhere. And with the falling abyss, Elder Grey Robe had comprehended the law of falling and could perform all the falling auras in the world. He could even use part of the power of the falling abyss. It was blocked. Prince Mo Li and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Hei Yuan, Sky Water Ant, and the others were shocked beyond words. This Elder Hei Yu was truly too terrifying. No wonder he could become a Tao protector. That was indeed the case. With him here, a normal half-saint couldn't hurt Prince Mo Li at all. Not to mention ordinary half-saints. Even 3 or 4 half-saints wouldn't be able to do anything to him. However, could he really contend against Lin Xian? Lin Xian had injured 7 half-saints with a single stroke of his sword. Lin Xian coldly snorted, turned into a sword shadow, and rushed out. Terrifying laws danced on his body as he instantly arrived in front of Elder Huiyu. His palm was like a dragon's head, grabbing forward. Damn it, block it for me. The gray-robed elder controlled the pagoda above his head to descend and continuously expand. It was as if a huge mountain was standing in front of him. Clang! A terrifying sound rang out. Su Chen's palm landed on the pagoda and directly pierced through it. Then, with a shake of his arm, the pagoda fell and shattered into pieces. It was too powerful. Lin Xian had mastered 6 law fragments. His casual strike had unparalleled power. The falling pagoda couldn't block it at all. Seeing this, Elder Huiyu's scalp went numb. A gray rune flashed between his eyebrows, and the abyss behind him became even more solid. He wanted to run away, but the next moment the golden palm grabbed him. With a boom, he was shattered into pieces, turning into a bloody mist. Blood flowed down from his upper body, piercing through the air and landing on the ancient battle platform, making thunderous noises. The surrounding people were all stupefied. Heavens, could it be that Elder Huiyu had been killed? Prince Mo Li's face darkened as well. Lin Xian frowned. Something wasn't right. He opened his heavenly secret godly eyes and looked around. Then he sneered. He really wasn't dead. The bloody mist in the sky all merged into the falling abyss illusion. That illusory figure was incomparably real. In the next moment, the illusion bloomed with light, and a pair of eyes appeared in the crack. However, there was no body. Instead, there were endless falling auras. Each one was like ribbons of light, wrapping around him. In an instant, Lin Xian was tied up like a dumpling. The power was very strange. It seemed to want to pull him into the falling abyss illusion. Fall into hell forever. A ferocious voice came from the illusion. Child's play. Lin Xian was enveloped by the falling auras, but he wasn't afraid. He roared, and the 9 suns' body bloomed with billions of rays of light. On it, the 9 suns' divine fire burned. Each flame carried a law of fire fragment. With a roar that shook the 9 heavens, he punched and kicked like a god of war. Suddenly, the falling auras on his body shattered. In front of him, in the falling abyss illusion, there was a muffled groan. Obviously, the person inside had suffered a backlash. Sure enough, in the next moment, in the valley of the falling abyss illusion, a figure slowly condensed, overlapping with the pair of eyes. Whoosh! Elder Huiyu's body appeared. His face was a little pale, and his expression was incomparably cold. Around him, countless falling auras carried him, as if he was an emissary of the abyss of hell. Kid, you're very strong. so strong that it's beyond my expectations. I've seen many geniuses, and I've also seen many geniuses from outside the realm. However, no one is as powerful as you. However, you shouldn't have provoked me, and you shouldn't have attacked me. Now it's all over. Following Elder Huiyu's words, the surrounding falling auras kept surging. Come out, fallen angel. Elder Huiyu's palms kept forming seals. With a loud shout, a grayish-white rune appeared between his eyebrows. It was abnormally strange. At the same time, the half-saint blood in his body flowed out. 1/3 condensed on the left and 1/3 condensed on the right. As for Elder Huiyu's body, it instantly started to wither. However, there was still 1/3 left. Therefore, he wouldn't die, but his vitality would be greatly damaged. Fallen angel, condense. Elder Huiyu kept approaching. The falling laws and his half-saint blood quickly condensed. At the same time, there seemed to be a strange sound between heaven and earth. The falling abyss illusion became even more solid. Seeing this scene, everyone trembled, as if some powerful being was about to descend. Not good. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people's expressions changed. Yu Heng and his brother's teeth chattered. The Sky Water Ant also screamed. Could it be the legend of the falling abyss? Legend? The surrounding people were puzzled. Chapter 32:29. The Sky Water Ant hurriedly explained. Rumor had it that the fallen abyss was extremely terrifying. Back then, an earth-shattering battle had taken place here. It was even said that immortals had participated in the battle. Countless experts had died in that battle. Rumor had it that there was an ancient race called the Fallen Angel race. There had been experts from the Fallen Angel race who had died here, and there was more than one. After they died, their souls fell into a deep slumber in the fallen abyss. Rumor had it that some powerful sacrificial summoning could summon their remnant souls to battle. However, such a method was only in the legends. No one had expected Elder Huiyu to be able to use it. There was such a thing. The surrounding people were even more shocked. Prince Emo Li snorted coldly. Let's see how you die this time. He had unlimited confidence in Elder Huiyu. Lin Xian frowned. The fallen angel race? He saw that 2 fallen angels had already formed on either side of Elder Huiyu. Those 2 fallen angels were wearing ancient battle armors. Their bodies were grayish-white, and they had fallen wings on their backs. They emitted a terrifying light. Go, tear him to shreds. Elder Huiyu snorted coldly, and the 2 fallen angels quickly charged over. Boom. Lin Xian was not afraid. He used the laws of sword to contend with them. The 3 of them fought fiercely. Elder Huiyu did not go forward. Instead, he focused on forming seals behind him. He had to maintain the 2 fallen angels. In his opinion, once the 2 fallen angels appeared, the other party would definitely die. Boom. Lin Xian's sword hit the fallen angel and sent him flying. However, he was stunned in the next moment. He discovered that the fallen angel had only been sent flying backwards, and she quickly returned. The old battle armor on his body was not broken. What a tough body. Lin Xian was extremely shocked. At the same time, the other fallen angel let out a sharp cry. Countless people's souls were about to be pierced through. They frantically retreated. Lin Xian was also affected by the fallen angel's soul attack. Humph! He snorted coldly. The great dragon sword soul in his body let out a loud dragon roar to fight back. The 2 sound waves collided in the sky. Damn it! He actually blocked it. That's impossible. That's the remnant soul of an ancient fallen angel race expert. How did he block it? In the distance, Elder Huiyu screamed like a madman. To think that even this move of his was unable to do anything to the other party. His face was gloomy as he formed another seal with his palms. Damn it! Kill. Tear him to pieces. Of the 2 fallen angels, One used his powerful physical body to fight Lin Xian in close combat. The other used a strange soul attack to launch a sneak attack. He didn't believe that the other party wouldn't be injured. What a powerful physique! What a terrifying soul attack! It's been a long time since I've met such an interesting opponent. You guys are worthy of my full strength. Lin Xian raised his head and laughed. Heavenly secret god eyes. Open. Nine Yang divine body. Open. Great dragon sword soul. Open. Lin Xian roared incessantly. His golden eyes carried a terrifying law. Nine Yang's body carried fragments of the law of fire. The great dragon sword soul roared and fused with the law of metal, the law of earth, and the law of water, continued to swim around him. Lin Xian had countless divine abilities as he continued to fight with the two fallen angels. With a bang, the great dragon sword soul roared and split the fallen angel into two halves from the middle. In addition, a black vortex suddenly appeared in the golden eyes. The law of annihilation combined with the eye technique instantly swallowed the remnant soul of the other fallen angel. After more than 100 moves, the two fallen angels were destroyed by Lin Xian. What? Even the fallen angels couldn't defeat him? The surrounding people were stunned. Hey Yuan and the others cried out in alarm. Prince Mo Yuan was scared silly. Elder Hui Yu's pupils constricted. Impossible! He screamed like a madman. However, in the next moment, he was scared out of his wits. Lin Xian's sword slashed him into two halves with a splat. Another kick tore his body into pieces. No, stop it! Elder Hui Yu screamed, crazily. The phantom behind him that had fallen into the abyss became more and more solid. He disappeared again, leaving behind only a pair of eyes that floated up and down in the great crack. I have a phantom that has fallen into the abyss. I don't believe that you can kill me. Elder Hui Yu roared, crazily. Although he couldn't defeat Lin Xian, it was impossible for Lin Xian to kill him. I can't hurt you? You're too ignorant. Lin Xian stepped on the ground. He had the law of metal in his left hand and the law of water in his right. He reached out with both hands and grabbed the two sides of the abyss crack. Then he tore it apart. Boom, boom. The heavens fell and the earth split. A terrifying scene occurred. Lin Xian was like a peerless overlord as he tore the phantom that had fallen into the abyss in half. Following his roar, not only did the phantom that had fallen into the abyss crack, but the entire world was also torn in half. From the crack, two halves of a body fell out. It was Elder Hui Yu. He quickly healed himself. He was scared out of his wits. Stop. Stop. You win. I'll make amends. Elder Hui Yu was truly afraid. He had used so many divine abilities and even summoned the fallen angels. However, he still couldn't do anything to Lin Xian. Even the illusion of falling into the abyss that he was so proud of was no longer effective. If they continued fighting, Lin Xian would definitely kill him. Therefore, he didn't dare to fight anymore. Apologize? Admit defeat? Do you think that's possible? Lin Xian snorted. Thousands of sword lights pierced through his eyes and nailed Elder Hui Yu's body to the sky. The power of annihilation made Elder Hui Yu's limbs vanish. Elder Hui Yu screamed like a madman. He had sacrificed 2/3 of his blood to summon the fallen angels. He didn't have much blood left in his body. His strength was also greatly reduced. Now, how could he be Lin Xian's match? Stop. I don't want to fight anymore. I admit defeat. Elder Hui Yu screamed like a madman. I'm willing to accept the punishment of having my arms cut off and a martial sword pierced through my heart. Prince Mo Li will also accept it. Not only that, I'll give you a treasure. Please spare my life and Prince Mo Li's life. Elder Hui Yu kept begging for mercy. He could only lower his head and admit his mistake. He also took out a treasure to appease Lin Xian's anger. He didn't dare to mention the fallen kingdom nor did he dare to threaten Lin Xian. If he angered Lin Xian again, he probably wouldn't be able to survive. Treasure? What treasure do you have that can buy the lives of 2 half-saints? Lin Xian snorted. I do. This treasure is definitely enough to buy my life and Prince Mo Li's. He didn't care about anything else. He took something out of his storage ring. As soon as he took it out, Lin Xian immediately stopped. The people around were also very surprised. What was that? They felt a scorching and monstrous power. It was like a sun. Did Lin Xian get a sun? As soon as Lin Xian caught sight of the item, he immediately set up countless spell formations to surround him and Elder Huiyu. The next moment, he waved his hand and grabbed the sun-like stone in his hand. This is Chapter 3230. He was too shocked. This was because he felt that the energy and aura contained within this fist-sized stone was too strange. It was more terrifying than all the divine crystals he had ever seen. Sure enough, in the black earth. When He Tu saw this, he also screamed. Dao stone. He actually had a Dao stone. He Tu, do you know what this is? Lin Xian asked through voice transmission. Of course I know. This thing is too famous. He Tu hurriedly explained. Dao stones were stones that contained the great Dao of heaven and earth. They were much more terrifying than divine crystals, because divine crystals contain surging energy. As for Dao stones, not only did they have energy, but they also contained the great Dao of heaven and earth. They were very suitable for saints to comprehend. This kind of thing was a treasure even for saints, not to mention half-saints. Who would have thought that this Dao stone would actually have a Dao stone? And from the looks of it, this was a Sun Dao stone. It contained a powerful fire Dao pattern. After Lin Xian heard this, he was extremely shocked and sucked in a breath of cold air. This was actually a Dao stone. No wonder he was incomparably shocked when he saw the patterns on the stone. This was a Dao pattern. Compared to runes, it was even more terrifying. Kid, with this thing, you can condense and form a true law, and greatly shorten the time. Since he knew that this was a good thing, how could Lin Xian let it go? He grabbed with his hand and put the Sun Dao stone into the black earth. At the same time, he looked forward and asked in a deep voice, Where did you get this thing? Elder Huiyu looked at this scene with a pained expression. That was a Dao stone. It was incomparably precious. If it wasn't for his life, he wouldn't have taken it out. At this moment, when he heard Lin Xian's question, he sighed. Kid, don't be delusional. I obtained this thing by chance. Seeing Lin Xian's gloomy expression, Elder Huiyu was so scared that he trembled and hurriedly explained. You also know that there are many stars and suns in our myriad worlds. Rumor has it that after the Golden Crow clan dies, their bodies will turn into suns. This rumor is true. About 1,000 years ago, when I was traveling in the universe, I met a saint-level Golden Crow that had passed away. After he died, he formed a sun. At that time, there were 2 people from the star world fighting for this sun. I got a piece of it. I have kept this piece for 1,000 years. Unfortunately, I cultivate the falling law. Otherwise, I would have used it long ago. Then why didn't you take it out to exchange? Lin Xian frowned. Logically speaking, even if he couldn't use this kind of treasure, it would be very easy to exchange it for other treasures. Elder Yu Hua sighed. Bring it back to exchange? What kind of joke was this? This was a Dao stone, something that even saints would be jealous of. If news of this gets out, I might not even be able to keep my life, let alone exchange for items. There will be saints coming after me. Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. It seemed that the value of this Dao stone was above his imagination. Seeing Lin Xian's gloomy expression, Elder Dao sure trembled. You won't go back on your word, right? Don't worry, I will never tell anyone that you have the Sun Dao stone. I dare to swear on my lightning tribulation that if I tell anyone that you have the Sundow Stone, I will be struck by lightning and destroyed in both body and soul." Elder Hui Yu hurriedly swore. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as he heaved a sigh of relief. This kind of oath was not made randomly, especially at their level. Every time they advanced and broke through, it would be accompanied by a heavenly tribulation. That was a heavenly tribulation formed by the heavenly Tao. It was extremely terrifying. If one swore randomly, it would definitely come true. Therefore, since Elder Hui Yu dared to make this oath, it meant that he would not tell anyone about this matter. "Don't worry, I, Lin Xian, am a man of my words. Since I said I would let you go, I will definitely let you go. Since you have already made the oath, you can leave. However, that demonly prince must suffer the punishment of having his heart pierced by a martial sword." "Yes, thank you, Lin Gongzi, for showing mercy." Elder Hui Yu heaved a sigh of relief. Although he still had to accept the punishment, at least his life was saved. Lin Xian removed the array. Elder Hui Yu hurriedly flew down to Demonly Prince's side. "Elder, are you all right?" Demonly Prince asked hurriedly. However, Elder Hui Yu snorted. Without another word, his fingers were like a long knife, cutting Demonly Prince's arms into pieces. At the same time, he formed a grayish-white sword and pierced Demonly Prince's heart. "Ah!" Demonly Prince screamed, crazily. His voice was extremely ferocious. "Damn it! Why? Why did you attack me?" Everyone else was stunned. "Oh my God! What's going on? Isn't Elder Hui Yu the protector of Demonly Prince? Why did he attack? What happened?" They did not know, but Demonly snorted. "Shut up. Do you want to live?" Hearing Elder Hui Yu's words, Demonly Prince trembled and did not dare to say anything else. Elder Hui Yu turned his head and looked at the figure in the sky. He said respectfully, "It should be Lin Gongzi. Sorry for the offense. We'll take our leave." With that, he grabbed Demonly Prince and quickly turned into a ray of light, disappearing into the void. Gone, the Prince of Magic and his protector had actually left. Oh my God, they could not believe it. Hei Yuan and the others were also extremely shocked. According to normal circumstances, Elder Hui Yu should have died without a doubt. But why did Lin Xian let him go? Could it be that it had something to do with the sun-like light that had appeared? They guessed and were very confused. They felt that it must be a rare treasure. But as for what it was, they did not know. Lin Xian snorted coldly when he saw the heated discussions below. "Why, do any of you want to fight?" Feeling Lin Xian's gaze, these people trembled and turned to run. Suddenly, only Lin Xian was left on the ancient battle platform. Everyone else had left. Lin Xian's body shook and quickly disappeared into the void. Next, he carefully hid his aura and changed his location many times. He was worried that someone would follow him. After all, the Sundow Stone was very precious. If word got out, even saints would come after him. He had to be careful. A month later, the Crimson Dragon woke up from his seclusion. He came out of the black earth and roared into the sky. His strength had also increased. Other than the law of thunder and the law of rain, the Crimson Dragon had also comprehended the law of Yun and the law of wind. The fragments of the four great laws revolved around him. The Crimson Dragon breathed out clouds and smoke. He was really powerful. "Kid, what happened when I was in seclusion?" the Crimson Dragon asked. Lin Xian began to tell him. When the Crimson Dragon heard that Lin Xian had obtained a Sundow Stone, he was stunned. "What? Sundow Stone? You really have that?" Lin Xian took out the Sundow Stone from the black earth. The Crimson Dragon's pupils shrank. He quickly set up a formation and then looked at it carefully. Chapter 32-31. Good stuff. It's really good stuff. Look at the Tao patterns on it. The Crimson Dragon kept praising. Then he had a bitter expression. It's a pity that I didn't comprehend the law of fire among the 4 law fragments. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been so polite. He was drooling. Kid, what are your plans? Are you going to comprehend the Sun Tao Stone directly? If you go into seclusion, I can help you guard. The Crimson Dragon asked. The Fire Tao Stone contained the Tao pattern of fire. If Lin Xian comprehended it for a few decades, he might really be able to form a true law. Kid, if you're lucky, you can become a sage in 100 years. If you're a little short, it's still 500 years. Within 500 years, you can become a sage. You're really too young. The Crimson Dragon was incomparably excited and envious. Lin Xian frowned slightly. Between 100 and 500 years? That was too long. He shook his head. Was there any other way? 500 years was too long to become a sage. The Crimson Dragon's mouth twitched. Go out and ask around. Are those half and half existences unable to take a step forward after 2,000 to 3,000 years? 500 years is already very heaven-defying. Okay? And this is the worst-case scenario. With your talent, you can probably do it in 100 to 200 years. It's still too long. Lin Xian shook his head. When he came to the ancient starry sky path, he didn't have the support of a force behind him. Now, he was alone. Beside him were the Crimson Dragon, the snow-white little monkey, and the Black Earth. If he encountered a peerless expert, it would be difficult for him to deal with him. Therefore, Lin Xian decided that he had to improve as fast as possible and try his best to reach the sage realm. After all, he wouldn't forget the fate of the 3rd-generation successor, Yi Gu Cheng. How fast do you plan to go? The Crimson Dragon asked. Become a sage on the spot. As soon as he said this, the Crimson Dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. At the same time, countless lightning bolts descended from the sky, piercing through the array and striking towards Lin Xian. This scene frightened the Crimson Dragon. He quickly waved his dragon claws and formed a storm in the sky to fight back. Lin Xian let out a roar and lashed out with a punch like a fiery dragon, shattering the lightning into pieces. Boy, did you see that? You have angered the heavens. Even he wants to strike you with lightning. The Crimson Dragon shrunk its neck. There were some words that could not be said carelessly. Indeed, Lin Xian wanted to become a saint. This was too heaven-defying. He knew that only the princes and princesses could become saints on the spot. Such an existence would become a saint the moment he was born. Lin Xian was not an emperor's son, so it was easy to imagine how difficult it would be for him to become a saint. Lin Xian's voice was sonorous. Even he couldn't stop me from walking down the path I want to walk. As he spoke, Lin Xian pointed to the sky. In the sky, countless bolts of lightning appeared again, forming thunderclouds. However, before they landed, they were split apart by Lin Xian's sword. At this moment, He too floated out. It's not impossible for you to become a saint, but it's much more difficult. Moreover, it's very difficult to use it. You might even die. Are you sure you want to do this? Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Hey, Tu, do you know a way? I do know a way. Moreover, your idea is very similar to his back then. Him back then? Could it be that you're talking about Senior Yi Gucheng? Lin Xian was shocked. Could it be that Senior Yi Gucheng also had such an idea back then? He did have such an idea. Hey, Tu said. So I also know a little about this idea. However, many tens of thousands of years have passed. The things he was looking for back then probably no longer exist. So you have to look for them again. What are you looking for? Lin Xian asked. Tao stones. Looking for 5 Tao stones. Don't you have the 5 elemental laws? Look for 5 Tao stones. When the time comes, the 5 elemental laws will be combined, allowing you to directly condense the 5 elemental laws, not the law of dispersion. This way, you can break through and become a saint. The power of the laws that you condense will be much stronger. than an ordinary saint, condensing 5 law fragments to form a single law? Lin Xian was extremely surprised. The 5 elemental laws were the most basic and the most ordinary laws. After all, many people cultivated one, or a few of the 5 elemental laws of heaven and earth. After becoming a saint, they would also master many laws. For example, there was the water and fire saint who mastered the water and fire elemental laws, 2 completely opposite laws. Their power could be said to be very terrifying. However, the 5 elemental laws that He Tu mentioned were different. The 5 elemental laws that he mentioned were not 5 laws, but one law. This law contained 5 elements. It could be said that it was very difficult to condense it. Once it was successfully condensed, its power would be extremely terrifying. After Lin Xian heard this, he was extremely excited. Finally, he found a way to quickly break through and become a saint. He had the 5 elemental laws fragments and the Sun Dao stone. If he could find the other 4 Law Dao stones, he would be able to condense the 5 elemental laws. At that time, he would break through and become a saint. Lin Xian and He Tu became more and more excited as they spoke. The Crimson Dragon kept shaking his head. Wait, you seem to be too naive. One had to know that Dao stones were very rare and precious. Even saints might not have them. It would be very difficult for you to find them. Moreover, you still have to find 4. I'm afraid that you'll spend hundreds of years searching for them. This kind of time is enough for you to become a fire saint. Kid, don't forget about the essentials. Upon hearing these words, Lin Xian frowned. It was likely that this search would take a long time. After all, a star world might not even have a single Dao stone. He had to travel through the starry sky. Don't worry about this. Back then, Yi Gucheng had already found a way. He Tu said, "What way?" Lin Xian hurriedly asked. He had never heard of the Langya star. What? The Langya star? Lin Xian was stunned. The Crimson Dragon exclaimed, "Could it be the legendary star world? Did it really exist? You actually know about it?" Lin Xian was surprised. The Crimson Dragon said, "I have the inheritance of the dragon race, so I have read about it before. However, that was many years ago. I didn't expect it to still exist. What kind of existence was it?" Lin Xian was even more puzzled. "Let me say it." He Tu continued, "The Langya star is a very magical star. Moreover, it is very famous in the 10,000 realms because it can deduce everything and answer all the questions you want to ask. You can even ask questions about the great emperors. Of course, you have to pay a price to ask them, or you need a large amount of natural treasures. Or you can help them complete a task. In short, the questions you ask are related to the degree of preciousness. As long as you have enough resources, you can go to the Langya star and ask about the whereabouts of the other 4 Dao stones. At that time, you can go and seize and search for these 4 Dao stones. Chapter 3232. This way, the speed should be greatly increased. However, it would require a large amount of treasures. Lin Xian nodded. He didn't expect the Langya star to be so magical that he could ask about anything. As long as he could ask about the whereabouts of the 4 Dao stones, he would pay any price. However, the Crimson Dragon continued to frown. "Kid, don't get too excited. So what if you found the 5 Dao stones? Those 5 Dao stones also need time to comprehend them. It's impossible to complete them in an instant. Moreover, what you're comprehending isn't 5 types of laws. Instead, you're condensing 5 types of laws into one. The difficulty of this has increased by a lot." He Tu, is there a way? He Tu nodded. "There is a way. Damn, there's even a way." The Crimson Dragon was dumbfounded. How come he didn't know about this? He Tu said, "If it's the fusion of other laws, it might be very difficult, or I don't know. However, as for the fusion of the 5 elements, I do know a method that can quickly fuse them." You just need to find a magnetic stone and it'll be fine. The magnetic stone can fuse the power of the 5 elements together. When the time comes, you can directly absorb it and become a saint. 4 Tao stones and 1 magnetic stone. Lin Xian clenched his fists as a cold light burst out from his eyes. All right, let's do it this way. This kid is really crazy. The Crimson Dragon was extremely shocked. He didn't expect Lin Xian to use such a risky method. This method seemed very good, but it was incomparably difficult to implement. Who knew how many heavenly treasures the Langistar needed to answer their questions? Who knew where these 4 Tao stones were? What if they were in the hands of a saint? The difficulty of this was much more difficult than simply comprehending it. However, once it was completed, Lin Xian might really become a saint in a short period of time. Thinking of this possibility, even the Crimson Dragon's heart couldn't help but beat wildly. This was really crazy. However, Ben Huang liked it. The Crimson Dragon was also incomparably excited. What are we waiting for? Let's quickly set off for the Langistar. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon quickly set off. They left the fallen star and began to search for the Langistar according to the star region map given by Hey Tuesday. At the same time, the news about the falling star also spread, especially about the falling abyss. It also began to spread to the surrounding star realms at an extremely fast speed. What? The falling abyss ranking had changed. There was a new number 1. Lin Wudi? You mean the one who fought Patriarch Xue Pao? Heavens, that brat became number 1. That kid had scared off Yan Nantian and Lu Mu by himself. He was actually on par with Di Ling. Cries of surprise could be heard. Those half-saints were extremely shocked. They didn't expect that there would be a peerless genius who could kill the number 1 in a domineering manner. Lin Wudi's name spread far and wide. As for the few existences on the purple name list, they snorted coldly. To think that there would be a newcomer. Don't worry, those are our rankings from hundreds of years ago. So what if the other party kills his way up? In terms of true strength, he's no match for us. A few people snorted coldly. But no matter what, Lin Xian's domineering ascension to the top really shocked these half-saints. In the starry sky, Yan Nantian's face was extremely gloomy when he received the news. Damn it, this guy? He gritted his teeth in anger. To be honest, his limelight had been completely stolen by the other party. He was the successor of the great emperor and was very powerful. He had also obtained a good result in 4th place in this test. It could be said that his limelight was unparalleled. With such a ranking, coupled with his identity, he would definitely be famous in the starry sky. But now, no one was talking about him. Even if someone talked about him, they would only compare him with Lin Xian. How could the proud him endure this? Damn brat. Yan Nantian gritted his teeth in anger. So what if the other party was number 1? He didn't believe that the other party could really defeat him. But the last time they fought, he realized that it wasn't easy to kill the other party. Humph, no one can surpass me. Lin Xian, just you wait, I will make you fall. Yan Nantian's eyes flashed with a cold light. Aren't you the successor of the 9 sons? Very well, I'll find you a life and death opponent. I don't even need to do anything. Someone else can kill you. Yan Nantian's body flickered as he steered the spirit ship through the starry sky. An extremely terrifying planet appeared before him. It was very large and fiery red like the sun. This planet was called Planet Suzaku. After Yan Nantian arrived at Planet Suzaku, his body flickered as he steered the spirit ship downwards. Soon, he landed on Planet Suzaku. However, he didn't stop. Instead, he quickly traveled through the starry sky and finally arrived at a deserted area. The surroundings were filled with lava. These weren't ordinary flames. Even a peak 9-star king would be turned to ashes if they were touched by these flames. Even a half-sage wouldn't dare to casually come here. The moment Yan Nantian arrived, he immediately activated 9 imperial runes and wrapped them around his body. The aura of the imperial runes isolated the heat. Yen Nantian entered the largest volcano and continued to descend. After an unknown amount of time, he stopped and frowned. The flames before him were too terrifying. Even though he had the imperial runes, he didn't dare to descend any further. With his current strength, he could only unleash the power of the imperial runes to this extent. Therefore, he couldn't descend any further. He formed a seal and sent a voice transmission to the people below. "Wake up!" His voice turned into thunder and filled the sea of flames below. His voice rumbled for a long time before disappearing. Yen Nantian shouted 3 times in a row and then waited patiently. The endless sea of flames below suddenly shot up into the sky, as if it had turned into a flaming beast that wanted to devour Yen Nantian. Yen Nantian used all his strength to activate the 9 imperial runes. He stopped in the air with a serious expression. At the same time, a low voice came from below. "Who dares to disturb me?" Endless flames formed a pair of eyes filled with monstrous anger. "Despicable human, I'll tear you apart." With a roar, monstrous flames formed in the eyes. They were like 2 flaming dragons that wanted to tear Yen Nantian apart. "Humph!" Yen Nantian coldly snorted. The phantom of a divine beast appeared under his feet. It carried a terrifying law and blocked the monstrous flames. "I didn't come here to fight you. I have a piece of news to tell you." Yen Nantian said coldly, "The successor of the 9 sons has reappeared. Are you still going to continue sleeping here?" "What? The successor of the 9 sons?" The fiery red eyes below suddenly erupted with a monstrous light. "Are you saying that the successor of the 9 sons has reappeared?" "That's right. He has long appeared. Moreover, he has obtained the first place on the Abyss list. Now he is admired by the world. As for you, you have long been forgotten by the world." "Ah." The fiery red eyes erupted with a biting cold light. Then a flaming face formed around him and let out a ferocious roar. Then a figure bathed in flames appeared. There were 4 chains on his body that were firmly nailed to him. "What's his name? Where is he now?" The fiery red figure below roared and asked. Chapter 32-33. His name is Lin Wudi. He should be near the fallen star. Go and find him. After Yen Nantian finished speaking, he turned around and soared into the sky. He smiled coldly. "Lin Xian, let's see how you're going to die this time." Soon, Yen Nantian disappeared into the flames. Below them, the person bound by the flaming chains, began to tremble. "Lin Wudi, the successor of the 9 sons. I'm going to tear you apart," he roared, and the flames around him were blown away, forming a vacuum. The flames on his body also gradually faded, replaced by a pitch-black color. However, at this moment, the 4 flame chains binding his body began to tremble. They wanted to firmly suppress him. "I'm the only one in the world. Open!" With a cold shout, a monstrous, demonic aura broke the 4 flame chains. All the flames were extinguished and replaced by endless demonic aura. A man with demonic runes all over his body floated in the void. His demonic aura was monstrous, and his eyes were cold. The 9 sons had appeared, and the great demon was about to appear. "I'm the great demon." With a roar, the demonic aura turned into a pair of demonic wings and tore the void apart. The fallen star fell into the abyss. At this time, most of the elites had left, but there were still a few figures lingering. One of them was the Qi family's patriarch. The Qi family's patriarch was covered in blood and injuries. His face was pale, but he was excited because he had finally received an invitation to the abyss. "Great, with this, I can enter the fallen star abyss below. The chief family's patriarch was extremely excited. There were also a few half-saints around him. The Luo family's rat was also here, but Jin Yuanzi and Xiao had already left. The chief family's patriarch's eyes flashed as he stared below. He was waiting. As long as the people inside came out, he could enter. They didn't know that at this time, outside the fallen star, a man covered in demonic aura was quickly descending. The astral winds that filled the sky hit his body, making clanging sounds. The demonic aura turned into demonic dragons, roaring in all directions and tearing all the astral winds apart. Soon, the great demon arrived at the fallen star. Buzz. She looked into the distance, her eyes red. She flapped her wings and flew quickly toward the fallen star abyss. At the same time, a figure rushed up from the bottom of the abyss. When the chief family patriarch saw this, his lips curled into a smile as he hurriedly handed over the invitation letter. Then his body swayed, and he fell into the abyss below. As soon as he entered, the Luo family's ancestor and the others frowned. The next moment, they turned their heads and looked into the distance. From afar, a figure could be seen rushing over. The figure flew very quickly. At first, it was still far away, but in the next second, it was right in front of them. It was accompanied by a monstrous demonic aura, so terrifying. Who was this person? The pupils of the Luo family patriarch and the other half-step saints shrank. The aura of the other party was simply too terrifying. Moreover, the monstrous demonic aura made their hair stand on end. After the great demon arrived, he didn't care about the people around him. Instead, he looked at the huge stone tablet in front of him. He saw a purple name on the first row of the stone tablet. It was Lin Xian's name. He withdrew his gaze and asked coldly, "Who knows Lin Wudi? Who knows where he is now?" Lin Wudi. They were here for Lin Wudi. The pupils of the surrounding half-step saints shrank. Lin Wudi was now number 1 on the leaderboard. His strength made them tremble. Therefore, no one dared to speak rashly. Moreover, they didn't know where Lin Xian was. The Luo family patriarch frowned. "You're looking for Lin Wudi? You know?" The great demon lowered his head and looked at the Luo family patriarch. The Luo family patriarch narrowed his eyes and said, "Who are you? Is it appropriate to look for Lin Wudi?" Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, he screamed and dodged quickly to the side. A pitch-black demonic hand grabbed at him, instantly grabbing the space he was standing in. "What are you doing? How dare you attack me?" The Luo family patriarch's face darkened. He didn't expect that the other party would attack him. The great demon revealed a sinister smile. "Since you know Lin Wudi, things will be easy. I'll capture you and take your soul. Then I'll naturally know everything I want." The surrounding half-step saints felt their scalps go numb. "Who is this person? He's too arrogant. He wants to search my soul just to get some information. Isn't this too overbearing?" The Luo family patriarch's face darkened. "How dare you attack me? Do you know who I am? My big brother is nearby. I advise you to get lost quickly. Otherwise, if you anger me, I'll kill you. You'll be suppressed here forever." "Suppress me?" The great demon roared at the sky. "You don't have the right to do that. And I hate it when people suppress me." He had just come out from the seal. How could he not be angry when he heard this word? In the next moment, demonic energy filled the sky, covering the entire sky. "Damn it, I'll fight it out with you." The Luo family patriarch gritted his teeth in anger. Terrifying lightning appeared on his body, and countless law fragments danced, forming a pair of lightning wings. In an instant, he flew up quickly. A lightning blade appeared in his hand, and he slashed forward. Die. With a slash, the void trembled, and the mountains and rivers shattered. "You overestimate yourself." The great demon punched out, and boundless demonic energy shook. Boom. With a punch, countless voids collapsed and shattered. The Luo family patriarch's body was torn into pieces. With a scream, A soul floated out, trying to reassemble. However, in the next moment, his body turned into a bloody mist, and his soul was grabbed by a pitch-black palm. The great demon's cold voice sounded. "Soul search." His eyes were pitch-black, like two black suns that emitted a demonic light. The Luo family patriarch's soul screamed crazily. Not long after, the screams disappeared, and the boundless demonic energy in the surroundings also dissipated. The great demon stood in the void, holding the translucent soul in his hand. With a gentle squeeze, the soul was destroyed. The surrounding half-saints trembled, and their faces were filled with fear. Dead, the Luo family patriarch was killed by the other party with a raise of his hand. Heavens, what kind of person is this? Demon King, this is the real demon. He destroyed the soul of a person without saying a word. That's too cruel. In an instant, many half-saints retreated, wanting to escape. "Did I say you could leave?" The great demon snorted, and 36 demonic pillars appeared around him. They pierced through the sky and formed a cage, trapping all the half-saints. When the half-saints who wanted to escape saw this, they immediately increased their speed. They tore through the void, wanting to leave this place. "How dare mere ants try to escape from me?" The great demon stretched out his palm, and boundless black, demonic energy rolled. Suddenly, screams could be heard in the void. Chapter 32-34. The three escaping half-saints were pierced through by the three demonic swords and nailed to the ground. Then the great demon grabbed their souls and swallowed them. Plop! Plop! The remaining half-saints knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. It was too terrifying. He was simply a demon king. He was a heaven-defying existence. Killing half-saints like them was as easy as blowing off dust. "I can give you a chance to live as long as you tell me. Where is Lin Wudi?" The great demon said after swallowing the souls of the three half-saints. "We don't know where Lin Wudi is, but we know the people related to him." One of the half-step saints answered. The Chi family patriarch had a good relationship with Lin Wudi. He was currently in the abyss below, participating in a trial. In addition, the White Crane clan and the successor of the great emperor Yan Nantian had a conflict with Lin Xian. We don't know anything else. One of them was below, participating in a trial. The great demon glanced at the abyss below. Then, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Yan Nantian? He snorted coldly. The White Crane clan. He looked up at the sky. The boundless demonic clouds were rapidly expanding. They rushed in all directions. The next moment, his lips curled into a smile. They were still on the fallen star. After finding the whereabouts of the White Crane clan, the great demon smiled coldly. "Demon swallows the world." The demonic blood on his body surged into the sky, turning into several demons that bit in all directions. "Damn it, you went back on your word. You said you would let us go." The surrounding half-saints screamed crazily. "You are not qualified to negotiate with me." The great demon sneered. "I just woke up and am very weak. I still need to recover. So, you will become my food." The boundless demonic aura swallowed the half-saints. The half-saints screamed miserably. It was too terrifying. The great demon was too powerful. The half-saints tried their best to resist, but there was nothing they could do. In a single move, they were all killed. Their souls were devoured by the great demon god. Even their flesh and blood were sucked dry. The great demon was surrounded by a bloody light. The demonic aura on his body was even more monstrous. He stomped his foot and tore through the void, charging toward the White Crane clan. The people of the White Crane clan had indeed not left the falling star. They were still here because they wanted to join forces with some experts to kill Lin Xian. There was no other way. They had already become enemies with Lin Xian, and Lin Xian was so powerful. More importantly, the other party's talent was too terrifying. The other party was so young, yet he had already reached the top of the rankings. If he was allowed to continue growing, his future would be limitless. At that time, if the other party remembered their White Crane clan would probably be annihilated. They would not allow such a danger to exist. Therefore, the White Crane clan decided to take action in advance. Although the other party was now powerful and ranked first on the rankings, he was not an invincible existence. Although it was troublesome to kill such a person, it was still doable. Originally, they had wanted to contact Yen Nantian. However, Yen Nantian had already left. They had no way of contacting him. Therefore, they used the teleportation portal to summon the half-saints of their families and brought along their magical treasures to assassinate the other party. Wang. The void shattered as countless Dao runes filled the air. Two figures walked out of the array. The aura of these two people was extremely powerful. Among the half-saints, they were also extremely terrifying existences. The surrounding Dao runes slowly dissipated. The people of the White Crane clan heaved a sigh of relief. Such teleportation portals that could cross worlds were the means of saints. They were all engraved with Dao runes. Every time they were activated, they would consume a large amount of resources. Even though the White Crane clan was powerful, it was still very painful for them. However, in order to kill Lin Xian, they could not care less. Two guardians, you're finally here. Seeing two powerful half-saints, the people of the White Crane clan were extremely excited. Yes, the two guardians of the White Crane clan nodded slightly. They had already heard about the general situation. Therefore, this time they were here to kill. Their bodies were filled with biting, cold-killing intent. However, in the next moment, the two guardians frowned and looked up at the sky. Their expressions were extremely solemn. This aura, they were too shocked. The other White Crane clan geniuses and half-saints also felt it. Immediately, they screamed. Damn it, what a terrifying aura. Could it be that Lin Wuti had come to kill them? Damn it, fight him to the death. This kid really did not know what was good for him. There was no door to hell, but he barged in. Since that was the case, then don't blame us for being heartless. These people of the White Crane clan revealed sinister smiles. However, in the next moment, they were stunned. They discovered that it was not Lin Wuti. They had seen Lin Wuti's law divine ability before. It was a biting cold sword intent and terrifying flames. But the scene in front of them was not. Demonic aura. Monstrous demonic aura rolled over, instantly enveloping heaven and earth in all directions. They felt the pressure between heaven and earth about to crush them. It was not Lin Wuti, but someone else? These people instantly frowned. Who is it to actually dare to attack our White Crane clan? Get out here. You really don't know what's good for you. Humph, we have two guardians. No matter who comes, we can kill him. The White Crane clan's genius sneered. At this moment, the left guardian's eyes erupted with a biting cold light. He reached out a large pale hand, carrying feathers that filled the sky, and directly grabbed at the void. In an instant, they smashed a large hole in the void. Found you, the large white hand carried the power of law, and could crush everything. Even if it was a half-saint, he was confident that he could seriously injure or even kill him. However, in the next moment, the left guardian of the White Crane clan screamed. His arm was broken, and blood dripped from the half-saint. White feathers drifted down from the sky. Damn it! The left guardian gritted his teeth, and power surged through his body to stop his wound. His eyes were wide open as he stared at the black hole in the sky. Damn it, who are you? The other White Crane clan's geniuses and powerhouses were also stunned. Heavens, what did they see? The left guardian was actually injured. The left protector was extremely powerful. Very few half-saints were a match for him. They believed that even Lin Wuti couldn't defeat their left protector. But now, the left guardian was actually injured. It was obvious that there was a terrifying enemy inside the black hole. In the sky, the black hole rotated, and the void shattered. A pitch-black figure walked out. It was the Great Demon. He looked down, and the corners of his mouth curled up. The White Crane clan? Seeing the Great Demon's figure, these people were on guard. The two guardians' pupils constricted. What a terrifying demonic aura. The aura on the other party's body almost made their blood freeze. "Who are you?" the two guardians asked coldly. The Great Demon did not answer. Instead, he asked coldly, "Do you know where Lin Wuti is?" Chapter 32-35. Hearing the name Lin Wuti, the people of the White Crane race were stunned. The other party was also looking for Lin Wuti. "What's your relationship with Lin Wuti?" The White Crane race's prodigy shouted coldly. Naturally, they were here to kill him. The Great Demon's murderous aura surged. "That's great." The people of the White Crane race were overjoyed. "Lin Wuti, you really deserve to die. I didn't expect that not only did we want to kill you, but there was also such a powerful person who wanted to kill you. Let's see how you escape this time." The people of the White Crane race were too excited. "That's great. We're also here to kill Lin Wuti. Why don't we join forces?" An elder of the White Crane race stood out. In his opinion, both sides could definitely kill the other party easily if they joined forces. "Join forces with you?" A look of disdain appeared in the Great Demon's eyes. "You guys probably aren't qualified. Tell me Lin Wuti's whereabouts, and I'll give you guys a quick death." Arrogant. The other party was too arrogant. The other party wanted to get information from them, and even wanted to kill all of them. They were simply too much. They overestimated themselves. The right protector snorted coldly and stood out. The left protector also attacked. The aura on their bodies suddenly erupted, and the nomological fragments turned into a tornado that swept forward. Behind them, the prodigy of the White Crane race revealed a cold smile. With the two protectors attacking, the other party was definitely dead. Previously, the left protector was injured because of carelessness. Now that they attacked with their full strength, the other party definitely couldn't block it. How powerful were the two protectors? With a punch, they illuminated the sky and pierced through the void in all directions. The surrounding demonic chi was shattered. "Since you guys are courting death, I'll fulfill your wish." The Great Demon laughed sinisterly, his black hair fluttering, and the demonic chi on his body was like a dragon. "With just the two of you, you dare to attack me?" With a long roar, the entire place was completely broken open. There was terrifying demonic chi everywhere, as if it was the end of the world. The void within 1,000,000 miles shattered. Puff! The two protectors vomited blood and flew out. The nomological fragments on their bodies dimmed, and their eyes were filled with fear. Too powerful. The other party's strength was really too powerful. He injured the two of them in one move. Who was this person? Damn it. Attack together. Summoning the ancestors? The left and right protectors roared. Their bodies reassembled and charged into the sky. When the prodigy of the White Crane race heard this, he quickly activated the power of his bloodline as well. These people were moving freely in the sky. Their palms were constantly forming seals, and their expressions were extremely pious. Ancestors' remnant, souls slumbering in the void, please awaken. The bloodline light on their bodies towered into the sky. Above their heads, a terrifying crack appeared. An illusory figure arrived through time and space. That was a white crane. It was just too massive, most of it unimaginable. Just a bit of its claw was enough to shatter the void within 1,000,000 li. The surrounding demonic chi was suppressed once again. The great demon raised his head and looked at the phantom in the sky. He narrowed his eyes. A mere remnant soul dared to be arrogant in front of him? I'll swallow you alive and recover my strength. The great devil was filled with a devilish aura. He reared his head back and laughed uproariously. After that, his body expanded abruptly, becoming over 1,000,000 feet tall. He stood tall and straight into the clouds, making it impossible for others to see how big he was. In the next moment, he bent over, opened his bloody mouth, and bit at the remnant soul. This scene was simply too terrifying. The void within 1,000,000 miles was swallowed by him in a single gulp. Damn it! Who is this person? The elites of the white crane race were all dumbfounded. The younger cultivators were so scared that they pissed their pants. Even the experts of the older generation were stunned. The left and right guardians were also terrified. Oh no, could he be? They thought of a terrifying existence in their hearts. But that shouldn't be the case. Didn't that existence disappear into history? Why would he appear here? Roar! In the next moment, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Dark winds blew in all directions, and these people were all sent flying while vomiting blood. The remnant soul of the ancestor above them was swallowed in a single gulp. Buffed! The left and right guardians vomited blood. The bodies of the people around them collapsed, and they looked dispirited. The remnant soul of the ancestor that they had summoned was actually eaten by the other party. This was simply like a fantasy story. Stop! Stop fighting. I'll tell you where that kid is. The left and right guardian screamed. This was a ferocious person, an existence that they could not provoke at all. Do I need you to tell me what I want to know? I'll go get it myself. In the sky, the great demon's voice was heard. Then he lifted his foot and stomped down. This stomp was like 1,000,000 demonic mountains descending, directly crushing the bodies of the half-saints. Even the left and right guardians could not withstand it. Their souls escaped, wanting to escape, but they were all caught by the great demon and swallowed. Soon, the great demon's body gradually shrank, returning to the appearance of a normal person. His eyes shone with cold light. Spiritual movement pavilion? His body shook, and he flew into the distance. As soon as he landed in the city, he heard people on the streets talking about the battle between Lin Wudi and the Guardians. Fallen Country, Prince Mo Li, the Guardians. It seemed that the other party had already left. The great demon did not stay in the spiritual movement pavilion. Instead, he turned to look for Prince Mo Li. He used his great superpower and instantly locked onto Prince Mo Li. The group tore through the void again. On the other side, Prince Mo Li and the others were pale. They were still in shock from before. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so powerful that even their guardians were no match for him. The Tao protector, Elder Huiyu, also sighed. He usually hid in the void and followed them silently. At this moment, his old face showed a trace of pain. He had no choice. He had lost his supreme treasure, the Sun Tao stone, to Lin Xian, and he had almost died in Lin Xian's hands. He hoped that he would never meet Lin Xian again in this life. Suddenly, Elder Huiyu's eyes shone with cold light. He revealed himself and looked into the distance. Who was it? Come out! With a roar, he shattered the void there. Prince Mo Li and the others also stopped, bewildered. Elder, what's going on? Especially Prince Mo Li, who was extremely nervous. Could it be that Lin Wudi had come? He was most afraid of Lin Xian now. If Lin Xian came, there was no way to stop him. The surrounding experts were also on high alert. But they said, "Don't worry, Prince, we're already at the border of the fallen country. Soon we'll enter the fallen country, and we'll be safe." You're the guardian? Lin Wudi fought with you before, right? A cold voice floated from the sky. Kneel down and accept your death. I can give you a quick death. A large hand grabbed at Elder Huiyu. You're courting death. Elder Huiyu punched out. His fist carried the power of the law. When it landed on the black hand, it made a loud noise. A large crack tore out. Elder Hui Yu's fist and half of his arm were completely shattered. You can withstand my attack? Interesting. The great demon revealed himself with a trace of surprise in his eyes. Chapter 32-36. Not to mention the other party's fist, the other party's body would have been torn apart by his attack. But this time, the other party only lost an arm. He was indeed strong. No wonder he could fight against Lin Wudi. Who are you? Elder Hui Yu was shocked. The other party's punch had easily injured him. It was too terrifying. Previously, he thought it was Lin Wudi who had come, but now it was not. Who am I? You don't need to know. You only need to know that it's time for you to go to hell. The great demon roared. Demonic chi rushed out of his body and enveloped Elder Hui Yu, Prince Mo Li, and the rest. Not good. Prince, run. Enter the fallen country. Elder Hui Yu shouted, and his aura exploded. Under the protection of a group of people, Prince Mo Li turned into a stream of light and tore through the void, trying to escape. You want to leave? Do you think you can? Demon swallows the world. The great demon roared. Demonic chi overflowed from his body and instantly swallowed everyone. Miserable screams were heard. After a gust of wind, everyone was swallowed by the great demon. Elder Hui Yu's body shattered, and his soul was captured by the great demon. The great demon collected his soul. His eyes shone. Sun Dao Stone? He did not expect there to be such a thing. He waved his hand and shot out 3 streams of demonic chi, piercing through Elder Hui Yu's soul. Then he formed a seal with his palm. Heaven and earth reincarnated, and thousands of demons searched. Elder Hui Yu had come into contact with the Sun Dao Stone. Now it was in Lin Xian's hands. It could be said that there was a connection between the two. Therefore, the great demon wanted to use Elder Hui Yu as a sacrifice to perform a peerless divine ability to search. Elder Hui Yu screamed. His soul was sucked dry. His energy, flesh, and blood exploded, turning into a blood mist that was absorbed by the divine ability. In the next moment, the great demon's eyes shone. In front of him, Elder Hui Yu's soul and flesh had turned into a star map of the universe. There was a light spot on it that was moving. Seeing this, the great demon's lips curled up in a smile. I've finally found you. You can't run away. Buzz. He rushed into the sky and disappeared without a trace. On the other side, Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, and the others were on their way. They were riding on a spirit ship and flying rapidly through the universe. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon sat cross-legged and began to cultivate. He too was in charge of flying. Since he had the space coordinates, he only needed to fly for a short period of time to reach the Langia star. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. On this day, He too sent news that Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon had opened their eyes. Were they finally arriving at the Langia star? They stood up and checked the situation outside. In the distance, there was a blue star emitting a mysterious aura. Even Lin Xian's heavenly fortune god eyes could not see through it. What a mysterious world of stars. Indeed, there were many spirit boats parked around the blue star. Each of them was floating there. There were even spirit boats flying over from time to time. Obviously, they were all here to inquire about matters. The arrival of Lin Xian and the others did not attract the attention of others. After all, there were too many spirit boats here. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon looked around curiously. Suddenly, a cold shout came from afar. "Get lost!" Immediately after, a huge light beam blasted towards them. Lin Xian felt the spirit boat shake as it was attacked. His face darkened. Buzz. In the next moment, he appeared outside the spirit boat and looked around coldly. Soon, he locked onto a spirit boat on the left. "Were you the ones who attacked just now?" he asked coldly. "Kid, get lost. Don't you know there's a queue here?" A cold voice came from the spirit boat. The spirit boat was very large and had a very strange shape. It was in the shape of a huge silver wolf and was hovering in the void. When the surrounding people saw this scene, they sneered. "Ha! This kid is courting death. He actually offended the Lonesome Wolf clan. He was lucky that he was near the Langistar. If he was outside, he would have been killed long ago. Moreover, his mind and soul would be destroyed." Lin Xian frowned when he heard the discussion around him. The Lonesome Wolf clan? Beside him, the Crimson Dragon also flashed out. "I've heard that this is also a powerful clan. It's said that they're a mutated species that has been passed down since ancient times. They're very powerful, and are very powerful in the universe. Kid, you're very lucky to be here. If you weren't here, you would have died 100 times in that instant." A cold voice came from the spirit boat in front. At the same time, a silver spirit boat flew over from afar. At the same time, a scream came from inside. "Sixth uncle, I'm here." Seeing this scene, the experts in the surrounding spirit boats began to discuss among themselves. It seemed to be someone from the Lonesome Wolf clan. He seemed to be from the younger generation. The voice in the silver spirit boat in front was elated. "You're here?" He looked at Lin Xian again. "Get out of here and give up your position. If you do, I can spare your life." Lin Xian's face darkened. He came here, but he was attacked before he could say anything. Now, they were threatening him. Did they think that he was a pushover? He said coldly, "You're going too far, aren't you? Too far? Ha ha! You've offended the Lonesome Wolf clan. You've committed a capital offense. Besides, so what if I've gone too far? I can kill you. In the universe, strength and fists are the most important thing. Trash like you only deserves to crawl at our feet." "Oh, is that so? Strength and fists are the most important thing here?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. "Fine, I'll let you have a taste of strength and fists." At this point, he turned around, and a cold light burst out from his eyes. At the same time, the silver spirit boat behind rushed over, and 3 young men walked out from it. They were very arrogant. "Get lost!" They faced Lin Xian and shouted coldly. A gnomological sword appeared in Lin Xian's hand. It carried a golden light and a dragon-shaped aura. The sword slashed down and directly enveloped the 3 young men who rushed over. "You're courting death. How dare you attack us?" The 3 paragons who rushed over were stunned. In the next moment, they roared angrily and burst out with intense light. The 3 of them quickly counterattacked, and terrifying gnomological runes soared into the sky. Puff! However, that sword was too powerful. In an instant, the 3 paragons' great abilities were destroyed. Not only that, but their bodies were also sliced into pieces. Miserable screams were heard. This scene happened so suddenly that the surrounding people did not react. Only now did they come back to their senses. What? Their bodies trembled, and their faces were filled with fear. "Oh heavens, who is this kid? He actually dares to attack the Lonesome Wolf clan? Crazy! He's really crazy. Doesn't he know how terrifying the Lonesome Wolf clan is?" Chapter 32-37. You're courting death. In front of them, angry roars could be heard from the giant silver wolf spirit vessel. Someone dared to attack their people. It was an unforgivable crime. A terrifying aura surged out. Silver law fragments danced in the air, forming a giant silver wolf that charged towards Lin Xian. Sensing the other party's attack, Lin Xian sneered coldly and dodged. Then he waved his hand, and countless law fragments formed a palm grabbing the three souls. At the same time, he shouted, "Let's see who dares to attack me." His voice was like 1,000 claps of thunder, resounding in all directions. Everyone was stunned. The three sky prides of the Heavenly Slaughter Lone Wolf clan screamed crazily as their souls were captured. "Sixth uncle, save me. Sixth uncle, kill him. He must kill him." Buzz. In front of them, a figure appeared in the giant silver wolf spirit vessel. It was a middle-aged man with a slender figure and a cold face. There were silver wolf stripes on both sides of his face. His eyes had also turned a strange green color. At this moment, those dark green eyes were emitting a terrifying light as he stared fixedly at Lin Xian. "Kid, I advise you to let go. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead." The others were also stunned. This kid dared to threaten the Heavenly Slaughter Lone Wolf clan. He was really courting death. "Kid, did you hear that? Hurry up and let us go, then kneel and kowtow. If we're in a good mood, we might give you a quick death. Otherwise, we'll make you wish you were dead." The three souls also roared like they had gone mad. "How dare you threaten me now?" Lin Xian snorted. He raised his finger and instantly destroyed one of the souls. Bang! Ah! The soul let out a shriek and vanished into thin air. "What? You killed him?" The surrounding people went crazy. The other two souls almost fainted. They no longer dared to be arrogant. The other party really dared to kill them. In front of them, the man called Sixth Uncle's pupils shrank. His green eyes were filled with shock. Killed, the other party actually attacked. How dare the other party attack? Did the other party not know the consequences of offending the Heavenly Slaughter Lone Wolf clan? "Damn kid, let him go." The man who was addressed as Sixth Uncle said coldly. He didn't dare to make a move now because there were still two souls in the other party's hands. Lin Xian sneered. "You can let him go. Kneel down, kowtow, admit your mistake, slap yourself, and then give me your position. I can consider sparing their lives. What did you say?" The man in front let out a furious roar as his aura erupted. A silver-white, heavenly wolf phantom appeared behind him, emitting a monstrous aura. He was truly enraged. The other party actually dared to raise such a condition. He truly deserved to die 10,000 times over. The experts in the surrounding spirit boats felt their bodies turn cold and their scalps go numb. The scene in front of them had truly stunned them. "Since that's the case, you can go die." The man who was addressed as Sixth Uncle snorted coldly. He made his move, a palm stretched out, transforming into the silvery, white claw of a lone wolf. It covered the sky and covered the earth like a mountain descending from the sky. The aura on it was simply too terrifying. When the surrounding experts felt this aura, they felt as though they were about to faint. The Crimson Dragon also frowned. Lin Xian's eyes also burst out with a piercing cold light. He stretched out a palm, carrying monstrous flames, and charged forward. When he struck out with his palm, it was earth-shattering. The surrounding void quickly shattered. Boom, boom, boom. The two large hands collided in the sky, and terrifying energy roared in all directions. However, at this moment, the man opposite him made his move again. A silver-white fist blasted over, bringing with it nomological fragments and the heavenly wolf phantom that filled the sky. It was extremely terrifying. This punch was too terrifying. Many people screamed in fright. Tian Sha fist. It seemed that the other party was really angry. Humph. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. He grabbed one of the souls and threw it forward. No, that soul screamed and wanted to escape, but how could it escape Lin Xian's palm? In the next moment, the soul was blasted into pieces by the Tian Sha fist. What a powerful fist! Lin Xian retreated to the side and sneered. He didn't show any mercy to his own people. Damn it! The man called Sixth Uncle was so angry that his entire body trembled. One of the souls was destroyed. This made his murderous aura surge. Kid, it seems that you really don't know what's good for you. The other party took a step forward, and a terrifying roar sounded. The Tiansha lone wolf phantom behind him became more and more solid, as if it was going to cross time and space. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Lin Xian sneered. He was now powerful, and his nomological laws were terrifying. Why would he be afraid of the other party? The surrounding spirit ships all retreated. They could tell that these two people were both powerhouses. The youth in front of them was not simple either. Therefore, the battle between the two would definitely be earth-shattering. Seeing that the atmosphere was getting colder and colder, and that the battle was about to erupt, a cold shout was heard. Who dared to make a move on the Langistar? Could it be that they had forgotten the rules? As soon as this was said, many people heaved a sigh of relief. They knew that a battle would not happen. Sure enough, the man from the Tiansha lone wolf clan retracted his aura, and the heavenly wolf phantom returned to his body. Lin Xian also turned his head to look. Two figures flew up from afar. Their feet were stepping on lotus flowers, and countless runes enveloped them. The two were not old, about 18 or 19 years old. The man was handsome, and the woman was beautiful, like a pair of immortal children. Each of them held an ancient, hexagonal lantern. The clothes they wore were also very ancient, and runes were all over them. These two people should be from the Langistar. Lin Xian also retracted his aura that filled the sky. He instantly formed a few seals and put away the last soul. Seeing this scene, the Tiansha lone wolf clan gnashed their teeth in anger. The man called Sixth Uncle's face also darkened. He ignored Lin Xian and said to the two immortal children of the Langistar, "Greetings to the two immortal children. It's not that I want to break the rules, but someone really doesn't know what's good for him and dares to challenge my Tiansha lone wolf group. I had no choice but to make a move." Speaking of this, he looked at Lin Xian. The immortal children in front also turned their heads to stare at Lin Xian, and then asked coldly, "This happened because of you? There's a reason for this. If someone didn't go too far, why would I make a move?" Lin Xian said coldly. Hearing this, the beautiful woman nodded. "I've also heard of the insolence of the Tiansha lone wolf clan. I think you have a reason for this. I'll let it go this time. Remember the rules of the Langistar. You're not allowed to fight here. All right, you can go in now." The immortal child and Jade Maiden said softly. In the next moment, the runes on their bodies spread out, and the surrounding spirit boats all trembled and entered the Langistar. "Thank you." Lin Xian cupped his fists. Then he and the Crimson Dragon also entered the spirit boat. They started the spirit boat and flew forward. On the other side, the Tiansha lone wolf clan's faces darkened. Damn it, they actually let the other party in. Although they were very angry, they did not dare to vent their anger on the Langistar. Therefore, they could only vent all their anger on Lin Xian. Damn brat, after leaving the Langistar, they will not let you go. Chapter 32-38. Lin Xian finally arrived at the Langistar. After entering, they looked down through the spirit boat. The entire Langya star was divided into countless regions. In each region, there were immortal children and jade maidens who came to receive them. Everyone first said what type of treasure they wanted, and then they were assigned to different regions. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon walked out and put away the spirit boat. At the same time, many figures descended near them. Among them was a man in purple. Even his hair was purple. His body was surrounded by purple light, and he was extraordinarily mighty. His gaze was as cold as a knife. After he swept his gaze across, many people trembled slightly. Many of the surrounding experts' pupils shrank. It was him, Ziyu Hao, he was a top genius and ranked 10th on the Abyss list. His strength could be said to be very terrifying. Even the veteran half-saints did not dare to be enemies with him. Ziyu Hao's appearance attracted the attention of countless people, and they whispered to each other. At this moment, a handsome young man appeared in front of them. He looked at the purple-robed figure in front of him and smiled. Brother Yu Hao, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. I wonder what Brother Yu Hao is trying to ask? Lin Fan thought. Octopus, treasure, snake, Ziyu Hao said coldly. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people exclaimed. Many of them had not even heard of this name. However, some veteran half-saints' pupils shrank. Could it be that kind of thing? In front of them, the handsome young man also stopped smiling. Brother Yu Hao, please. He asked the purple-robed man to leave. Soon it was Lin Xian's turn. A pair of immortal children asked, what did this young master want to ask? It was a kind of treasure that belonged to the category of crystal stones. It was more precious and could be said to be very rare. Lin Xian did not directly say that it was a stone because it would be too obvious. He was afraid that he would be targeted by many people. In front of them, the immortal children nodded, then took out a sign and said to Lin Xian, go to the 12th region. Lin Xian took the sign and flew forward. This was because when he landed from the sky, he saw that the entire Langistar was divided into many regions. He knew which direction these 12 zones were in. He thought that after he arrived, there would be someone waiting for him. After receiving the tokens, the two of them directly sat on the teleportation array. The array flickered. When he reappeared, he was already in the 12th district. In front of the 12th district, there was also a beautiful woman who asked, I wonder what young master is asking about. They were similar to crystals. The 8th palace, the beautiful woman said in a sweet voice. Lin Xian once again headed towards the 8th palace. There were still 3 people in front of him, so Lin Xian waited for a while. When it was his turn, Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked in. The main hall was very spacious, and it was also very simple and unadorned. The surroundings were densely packed with symbols. It was obvious that if anyone dared to cause trouble here, they would be suppressed in an instant. After Lin Xian entered, the doors to the 8th hall closed. Following that, a voice rang out. What does young master want to ask? There was no one else around. Lin Xian had asked He Tu before, so he could tell him his purpose here. Therefore, Lin Xian took a deep breath and said in a clear voice, I want to ask about the whereabouts of the Dao Stone. Dao Stone? This time, it was the people of the 8th hall who were stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to ask about such a precious thing. However, as people of the Langistar, they had seen all kinds of problems. Therefore, although they were surprised, they quickly calmed down. Buzz, the array in front of them flickered, and a middle-aged woman walked out. She was wearing a long robe and had a dignified face. As soon as she appeared, she quickly asked, Young master, what attribute do you want? I want more than 1 Dao stone. How much information can you provide? Lin Xian asked. One had to know that he needed 4 Dao stones and 1 origin magnetic stone. If possible, he hoped to ask them all at once. However, the dignified woman in front of him said, Young master, you can only ask one thing at a time. This is the rule of the Langistar. And Lin Xian nodded and said, Would attribute. The woman in red's eyes flickered. Yes, our Langistar has information about would attribute Dao stones. However, the cost. Dao stones were more precious, so the cost was also incomparably precious. A complete sacred artifact, or 30 million caddies of divine crystals, or help us do one thing. Hearing this price, Lin Xian took a deep breath, and his expression changed. Wasn't this too expensive? One had to know that he didn't even have a true sacred artifact in his hands. He only had a few half-step sacred artifacts. There were also fragments of sacred artifacts. However, these couldn't be compared to a true sacred artifact. Moreover, 30 million caddies of divine crystals was such a huge amount of wealth. Moreover, the Langiastar didn't give him a Tao stone, but only a piece of information. Whether he could obtain it or not was two different things. However, just a piece of information was sold at such a high price. It had to be said that it really shocked Lin Xian. Heavens, this Langiastar was so rich. Previously, when he heard He Tu say that he didn't have much of a sense, now that he directly felt it, he was extremely shocked. Moreover, he knew that the Langiastar was not only rich, but also extremely powerful. Otherwise, it would have been snatched away long ago. Not to mention other things, there were many saints in the various worlds. Any one of them would probably be able to snatch it away. But now, the Langiastar was doing fine. No one dared to come here and cause trouble. This meant that there was an extremely powerful existence on the Langiastar. Lin Xian didn't have a sacred artifact, but he could take out 30 million caddies of divine crystals. All these years he couldn't kill strong enemies, but he had collected countless resources. He could take it out. However, this was already very close to his entire fortune. If he took out 30 million caddies of divine crystals, he probably wouldn't have much left. After all, whether it was formations, spirit boats, or cultivation, they all required divine crystals. As for the third condition, help the Langiastar do one thing? The first two conditions were so expensive. This matter probably wouldn't be so easy to complete. Moreover, it was Lin Xian's first time here. He also wanted to see if the Langiastar was as accurate as the rumors said. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian's eyes revealed a hint of determination. I'm prepared to pay 30 million caddies of divine crystals. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian took out 30 million caddies of divine crystals from the black earth. Those divine crystals appeared in the 8th hall. Fortunately, the 8th hall was incomparably majestic and had countless array formations. There was an unknown amount of space hidden behind it. In front, the dignified woman's soul swept over and nodded slightly. 30 million caddies, no more, no less. In the next moment, she opened her red lips. There were two pieces of news regarding the Wood Dao stone. The first news was that 1,300 years ago, someone had seen the Wood Dao stone on the Wildwood Star. The second news was that 300 years ago, someone had also seen the Wood Dao stone in the elven forest of the Elven Planet. Regarding these two pieces of news, the first was that the Wildwood Star was a little far from the Langiastar. It would take about 5 years to fly there with a spirit boat. The second was that the Elven Planet was closer. It would only take about 7 months to reach it. However, the elven forest of the Elven Planet was more dangerous. Especially in the depths of the elven forest, it was a forbidden area. It was very dangerous for a half-saint to enter. Chapter 32-39. The two pieces of news were finished in a few short sentences. After Lin Xian heard this, his eyes flickered. He took a deep breath and left the 8th hall. After coming out, he shook his head slightly. These two pieces of news had cost him almost all his wealth. It really made his heart ache. The Crimson Dragon said, "Kid, be content. This is a Tao stone that even a saint might not be able to obtain." "That's true." Lin Xian nodded. If he had asked for other information, it probably wouldn't have been so expensive. And from the looks of it, this information was from a few hundred years ago. It was really uncertain if he would have it there. It seemed that he needed a certain amount of luck. Lin Xian rubbed his face and soared into the sky, leaving the 8th hall. He decided to head to the Elven Planet and investigate the Elven Forest. After all, the Wildwood Planet was too far away. Who knew what would happen during the 5 years? Of course, the Crimson Dragon had also suggested that there should be an array formation between the star worlds. If he activated that kind of interworld teleportation array, the consumption would be very large. With Lin Xian's current wealth, he probably wouldn't be able to afford it. Soon, Lin Xian left the 8th hall and even left Area 12. When he came out and was about to leave, he met the purple-clothed man from before. The purple-clothed man seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's gaze and turned his head. His gaze was like a purple blade that was abnormally sharp, causing the void to tremble. This person is actually able to withstand my gaze. Interesting. Zi Yuhao's lips curled up into an evil smile. He took a deep look at Lin Xian, then turned and left. Lin Xian's eyes flickered, but he didn't say anything. But he could feel the powerful force and terrifying killing intent in the other party's gaze. It seemed that the other party didn't cultivate a righteous cultivation technique and was related to evil. Outside, there were a few spirit boats hidden in the void. An invisible net stretched out and enveloped all the passers-by. It seemed to be searching for something. Suddenly, their hearts skipped a beat. Inside the spirit boat, a few men in white exclaimed and came out. Inside their spirit boat, Lin Xian was displayed on the array formation light screen. These people were from the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan. 6th uncle had not returned yet, so he quickly informed him. Then he would order 2 spirit boats to chase after that brat. He must not let him escape. This time, he was going to destroy both his body and soul. The Heaven Fiend Lone Wolf's experts gritted their teeth. Soon, they sent a message to inform the experts of the Wolf Fong planet. At the same time, the 2 spirit boats concealed their auras and followed silently from afar. After Lin Xian left the Langia Star, he took out the spirit boat and went in with the Crimson Dragon. The 2 of them flew quickly and completely disappeared. After flying for about 2 hours, Lin Xian frowned. When he first came out, he felt like he was being watched by someone. Until now, this feeling was getting stronger and stronger. He stopped the spirit boat and turned to look. He activated the heavenly secret divine eye, and golden runes flickered and saw through everything. Soon, he saw 2 spirit vessels following him, silently in the cosmos behind him. At this moment, they also stopped there. The array formation of the 2 spirit boats was activated and concealed everything, but it still could not escape the heavenly secret divine eye. "How dare you follow me? You don't know what death is." Lin Xian sneered. He knew without thinking that they must be from the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan. In that case, he could only send them to hell. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a piercing light. His body swayed, and he instantly left the spirit boat. In the 2 spirit boats behind, the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan members frowned. Why did that brat stop? Could it be that he had discovered us? Impossible. We had already activated the array formation. How could he have discovered us? Perhaps there was something else? Wait a little longer. The people in the 2 spirit boats communicated through the array formation. They also stopped and activated the array formation even more brilliantly, hiding it even more deeply. However, in the next moment, they were all stunned because they saw a figure rushing out in front of them. Oh no, it's that brat. Could it be that they had been discovered? They were panicking. At this moment, someone shouted, "So, what if we've been discovered? Fire at him." These people hurriedly injected divine crystals into the spirit boats. Runes flickered one after another, forming 2 pillars of light that shot forward at a high speed. The 2 pillars of light were like rainbows, carrying an aura that could destroy everything. In an instant, they enveloped Lin Xian. Humph! How powerful was Lin Xian? Facing these 2 shocking attacks, he did not dodge at all. He waved his fist and charged forward with terrifying nomological fragments. Boom! Flames surged into the sky as the fist pressed forward. Terrifying power shot into the sky, causing the entire starry sky to tremble. The 2 collided, erupting with shocking energy, illuminating the dark universe. That brat actually dared to take it head on. Is he courting death? Hee, we can kill him without Sixth Uncle's help. That's natural. Previously, it was inconvenient for Sixth Uncle to make a move on the Langus star. Otherwise, how could that brat have survived until now? Inside the spirit boat, the people of the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan sneered. Under this attack, even a half-step sage would not be able to survive. The other party was definitely dead. However, their smiles soon froze, and their eyes became filled with fear. They looked ahead, their bodies trembling nonstop. In the energy light in front of them, a figure was like a god of war, rampaging and tearing apart all the light. Then, it turned into an eternal light that quickly charged towards them. Damn it, it's that brat. Impossible. How could he still be alive? Even a half-step sage was dead. What kind of physique did he have? Could it be that he had top-grade battle armor on him? These people screamed in horror. Quickly, fire again. They fired another 4 energy beams that shot towards the other party like they were about to destroy the world. However, Lin Xian's physique was extremely strong. Nomological fragments circulated around his body, and his 9-yang divine body was burning like a blazing sun. Lin Xian broke through all the attacks and arrived in front of the 2 spirit boats. Boom! He threw out a punch and blasted forward. With a clang, an earth-shattering sound rang out like 10,000 claps of thunder. The spirit boat trembled nonstop, and a fist mark appeared on it. It was incomparably deep, and it was almost penetrated. Inside the spirit boat, the people of the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan were so scared that their bodies trembled when they saw this scene. Damn it, who the hell is this person? One had to know that their spirit boat was very sturdy, and even a half-step sage could not break it. But now the other party's punch had almost penetrated it. Could it be that this kid had surpassed a half-step sage? Damn it, they couldn't be so passive. The distance is too close, so it's not easy for the spirit boat to attack. Let's hurry up and attack. We have 8 people on our side. I don't believe that we can't kill the other party. The young prodigy gritted his teeth. This prodigy was also a half-step sage. He said, "Let's join forces." There were several half-step sages in the 2 spirit boats. The others were also close to reaching the half-step sage realm. They had all comprehended a power that was close to the Tao. Moreover, they had Dharma treasures and array formations in their hands. If they joined forces, they could definitely kill the other party. Chapter 3240. Kill. In an instant, these people rushed out. 5 of them quickly combined their formations to form the Heavenly Fiend formation and charged towards Lin Xian. The other 3 were all half-step saints. They had terrifying nomological fragments on them. They were extremely terrifying, like demon kings. Kid, go to hell. The 8 of them attacked together with earth-shattering momentum. They were confident that they could definitely kill a half-step saint in an instant. To be honest, the Heavenly Fiend Lone Wolf clan was very powerful. With their lineup, not to mention killing a half-step saint, they could even kill 3 half-step saints. But now, unfortunately, they encountered Lin Xian. Lin Xian split the sky with his sword and directly shattered all the attacks. At the same time, his left leg swept out with the nomological fragments of the earth. Like an earth dragon, it instantly crushed the void. In front, the Heavenly Fiend Lone Wolf clan members were instantly kicked out. Several of them were broken at the waist. Next, various nomological fragments danced in the air. Lin Xian directly defeated these people with his powerful strength. No, damn it, impossible. How can you be so powerful? These people from the Heavenly Fiend Lone Wolf clan went crazy. The other party actually used several nomological fragments. Oh my God! How is this possible? One had to know that most of them only had a single nomological fragment. At most, there were two nomological fragments. However, the other party took out 4 or 5 nomological fragments in a row. They were beaten until they vomited blood. Not good. An expert, and a top expert. These people went crazy and hurriedly fled back to the spirit boat. Leave quickly, leave. They wanted to escape, but how could they escape? The annihilation nomological fragment formed a large crack in front of them, and all the power was dissolved. Lin Xian held the nomological swords with both hands. One was a fire nomological sword, and the other was a metal nomological sword. He waved his hands, and sword chi swept out. Soon, these heavenly fiend lone wolf clan members were all killed. No, when Lin Xian killed the last heavenly fiend lone wolf clan member, a crazy roar came from afar. The surrounding void kept shattering, and large cracks of millions of miles appeared, charging towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and with a sweep of his long sword he cut off the cracks. He raised his head and looked ahead. In the distance, a few figures flew over. The person in the lead was extremely powerful. It was the heaven fiend lone wolf's 6th uncle. The skinny man was so angry that his lungs were about to explode when he saw the scene in front of him. 8 geniuses of the sky fiend lone wolf tribe had died at the hands of the other party. Ah, I'll tear you to shreds. He raised his head and roared. His aura was so powerful that it could topple mountains and overturn seas. It covered the sky and earth, and instantly formed a giant silver wolf that charged towards Lin Xian. This was a type of bloodline, great magical ability, bringing with it heaven overflowing silver law fragments, covering heaven and earth. Kill! Lin Xian also roared as he brandished his golden nomological sword. It was like a golden dragon dancing in the sky as the 2 huge shadows clashed in the universe. The resulting scene was extremely terrifying. Fortunately, this was not the astral world, but the cold universe. There were no buildings or people around. Otherwise, everything would probably turn into ashes. Damn brat, I want you dead. The man called 6th uncle gritted his teeth and roared. Lin Xian sneered. If you want to blame someone, blame the heaven fiend lone wolf tribe. You asked for it and had to chase after me. All of this is what you deserve. Brat, you're too arrogant. Do you really think you can contend with me? In front of him, the skinny man's expression was ferocious. The power of his bloodline and the silver law fragments on his body were becoming more and more monstrous. At this point, he had completely made up his mind to tear the person in front of him into pieces. He would not hold back. Is that so? I want to see what ability the heaven fiend lone wolf tribe has to be so arrogant. Lin Xian said coldly. He had 6 types of law fragments and the dragon sword soul. Why would he be afraid of the other party? You don't know what's good for you. When I catch you later, I'll pull out your tendons and skin you alive. I'll use hellfire to refine your soul for 10,000 years. I'll make you wish you were dead. As soon as he finished speaking, the skinny man turned into a silver flash and instantly charged towards Lin Xian. When he got close to Lin Xian, silver law fragments burst out from the skinny man's body and turned into wolf claws. They were densely packed and covered the sky, enveloping Lin Xian. They wanted to tear him to pieces. Boom! Lin Xian snorted coldly and activated the 9-young divine body. His body shone brightly with mysterious runes that flickered with monstrous flames. At this moment, Lin Xian was really like a flaming war god. He relied on his strong physique to resist the skinny man's attack. At the same time, he activated the metal law fragment and formed a golden law sword. He waved it continuously. Not only did it contain the power of the golden law, but it also contained the power of the dragon sword soul. Boom! Those demon wolf claws slammed onto Lin Xian's body, emitting a sonorous sound and bursting out with thousands of rays of light that illuminated the area. The void continued to shatter. Lin Xian's body trembled and even took a step back. However, his body did not split open. How could his body be so strong? The skinny man's pupils shrank in disbelief. His attack was so powerful that an ordinary half-saint would have been torn apart. Even if they had half-saint armor, they would be injured and spit out large mouthfuls of blood. Even their internal organs would be shattered. But now the other party's body only swayed a little and dissolved his terrifying power. It was really unbelievable. Could it be that the kid in front of him was a body-tempering expert? He was extremely surprised. At the same time, the law sword in Lin Xian's hand had already slashed down. Buzz. Not good. The skinny man called sixth uncle quickly retreated. However, he was still a step too late. This sword shattered all the demon wolf claws that he had sent out. There was even a sword mark on his arm. Blood that had penetrated deep into his bones instantly flowed out. Damn it! The skinny man was extremely shocked. Not only was the other party's physique strong, but his attack was also shocking. He was from the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan, an ancient monster. His physique was extremely strong. Even if he did not wear armor, an ordinary half-saint would not be able to hurt him. But now, the other party had injured him with a light sword. The skinny man was in disbelief. His expression was gloomy as he quickly circulated his law power, trying to heal the wound. But soon he frowned. He could not heal it completely. There was a sharp sword intent on the wound that could not be erased in a short time. Damn it, seal. The skinny man used a law fragment to instantly seal the wound and stop the bleeding. The next moment, he raised his head and stared at the other party with a piercing light in his eyes. Skywolf eyes. A pair of green eyes burst out with a piercing light, forming two green storms that swept forward. This was a kind of eye technique. Not only could it injure the body, but it could also injure the soul. With one strike, it could destroy one's soul. Buzz. The two green storms passed through the flames on Lin Xian's body and seemed to want to tear Lin Xian's body apart. Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body erupted with incomparable power. He was like a flaming war god. Unstoppable. He also opened his heavenly secret divine eye. Golden runes rotated and formed two beams of light that crashed forward. Chapter 3241. Brat, do you think you can fight against me? Under my heavenly wolf eyes, your body and soul will be destroyed. The skinny man sneered. Lin Xian did not say anything, but he increased the power of his heavenly secret divine eyes. The golden light and the green storm collided, creating a shocking collision. It was as if the entire starry sky was shaking. Puff. The two eye techniques disappeared in the sky. Is this all you've got? Not good. Lin Xian sneered. Brat, you're courting death. The skinny man roared, but he was shocked. He did not expect his heavenly wolf eye to be blocked by Lin Fan. It was too unexpected. In the next moment, his eyes turned cold, and the silver light on his body became more solid. It was as if he had summoned a real demonic beast. Behind them, the Skyfiend Lone Wolf was also excited to see this scene. It seemed that their sixth uncle was going to use his trump card. The silver heavenly wolf's shadow became more and more solid. Then it roared and charged at Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted, and the 9-yang divine body shone brightly, forming the shadow of the fire god. It stood tall in the sky. With a furious roar, its huge body charged forward. One had a strong physique, and the other had a terrifying bloodline. When the two clashed, it was earth-shattering. Skyfiend wolf howl. At this moment, the skinny man roared again. The silver wolf tattoo on his face flickered, and a blood-red light appeared on it. Roar. With a roar, a terrifying blood-red sound wave surged forward with a strong, murderous aura. The void shattered, and the 9 yang divine body's shadow was suppressed. The sound wave was too terrifying. Lin Xian felt his blood boil, and his soul was about to faint. Azure Dragon howl. Lin Xian roared, and the dragon-beating sword spirit in his body roared. The dragon's roar turned into a sword wave, and with him as the center, it spread forward. The dragon's roar resounded through the 9 heavens. With a strong sword intent, it blocked the heavenly wolf howl. At the same time, the dragon's roar caused the experts of the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan to tremble uncontrollably. Not good. Bloodline suppression. The voice coming from the other party's body was too shocking. Even the skinny man's expression changed. He could feel that the Sky Wolf projection on his body was being suppressed. Damn it, you can actually let out a dragon's roar. The skinny man was extremely shocked. He frantically urged the silver laws and quickly rushed over. In the blink of an eye, he merged with the heavenly wolf's phantom and slammed into the 9 yang divine body's phantom. Boom! The phantom of the 9 yang divine body was pierced through. He quickly charged towards Lin Xian. His strength had increased again. Lin Xian was shocked. He didn't expect this man to be so strong. It seemed that the other party was a veteran half-saint. His bloodline power and law fragment were both extremely powerful. No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. 13 green lotus swords. Lin Xian waved the golden light sword in his hand, drawing 13 sword chi in the sky. These sword chi carried the power of the metal law fragment and the fire law fragment. They quickly condensed in the air, forming a golden lotus. The fire on top of it was jumping. The 2 law fragments intertwined and flew forward. In an instant, it enveloped the skinny man. The golden flame lotus split open, and the terrifying sword chi completely pierced through the void. The metal law was extremely sharp, and the fire law was extremely violent. These 2 laws were extremely powerful in terms of attack power. At this moment, the 2 were mixed together. That power was truly terrifying to the extreme. The skinny man felt threatened in an instant. The sword chi hit his body, causing the Sky Wolf projection on his body to tremble violently. In the end, the Sky Wolf projection was pierced through, and a few sword chi slashed towards him. Get lost! The skinny man roared angrily, and a layer of blood light appeared on his body, forming blood-colored patterns that crawled all over his body. As a member of the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan, his body was not to be trifled with. At this moment, he exerted all his strength, and his originally thin and slender body suddenly enlarged, turning into a giant of about 30 meters tall. Silver hair even appeared on his body, and a tail appeared on his back. His claws also became sharp. At this moment, he had become very much like a human-shaped demon wolf. He wanted to use this demon beast body to resist the remaining sword chi. The sword chi hit his body, and a dazzling light burst out, forcing him to retreat. In the end, 2 sword chi pierced his body, and 2 bloody holes appeared. The fire law even set one of his arms on fire. The skinny man roared wildly, and used his bloodline to suppress the sword chi. In the end, he shattered all the sword chi, and the flames were also extinguished by him. However, he was also injured by this attack. Behind him, the Skyfiend Lone Wolf clan members screamed crazily. They did not dare to imagine that their 6th uncle would be injured again. If the first time was because of carelessness, then this time there was no way to explain. The opponent was very strong, stronger than their 6th uncle. 6th uncle, let's attack together. The experts at the back blurted out. All right. 6th uncle gritted his teeth and nodded. Now was not the time for him to be stubborn. Although the opponent was younger than him, he was too strong. Moreover, his methods were strange, and he could not guard against them. The opponent's sword chi hit his body, and the wound could not be completely healed. Although it was not fatal, it affected his combat strength. 3 figures rushed over from behind, and they were also very strong. It looked like it was going to be 4 against 1. Ruzalong. Lin Xian roared, and the crimson dragon behind him rushed out of the black earth. With a roar, it transformed into a 100-meter-long dragon. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws in the void, and a powerful dragon aura suppressed the surroundings. Ha ha! Ben Huang could not wait any longer. Come, come, come. Today, Ben Huang will teach you how to barbecue skewers. Lightning circled around his body, and clouds filled the air. He really did have a boundless divine aura. My line, sitting on his back was a little white monkey. At this moment, the little white monkey was waving its little paws and seemed very excited. The dragon race. When the Skyfiend Lone Wolf race saw this scene, their pupils constricted. They did not expect that in addition to the kid in front of them, the other party had a dragon race companion. And from the looks of it, it was not an ordinary dragon race. The dragon aura and dragon blood on the other party were too strong. I didn't expect you to have a helper, but so what? Do you believe that the 4 of us half-saints can't take you down? Indeed, they had 4 half-saints on their side. No matter how strong the opponent was, there were only 2 of them. 2 against 1, they should be able to win, right? Moreover, they were from the same race, and their bloodlines could resonate, and they could use some of their race's forbidden abilities. If they could not win, they would have lived in vain all these years. Chapter 3242. Attack. On the other side, the man called Sixth Uncle roared, and the 4 half-saints charged over. Sixth Uncle and one of the men charged at Lin Xian, while the other 2 half-saints charged at the Crimson Dragon. Go to hell, kid. Sixth Uncle and the young half-saint attacked quickly, brandishing powerful precept fragments. These 2 half-saints were not ordinary. For a moment, they suppressed Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian soon counterattacked. He had 6 precept fragments and was very strong. He was not at a disadvantage against the 2 half-saints, and gradually he even suppressed them. This scene shocked Sixth Uncle and the young half-saint. Damn it, the opponent was too strong. Could it be that he did not use his full strength before? Thinking of this, Sixth Uncle's face became gloomy. Kill him. He must kill him. Otherwise, it would be a big disaster. On the other battlefield, the Crimson Dragon was also very strong. He kept spewing wind and lightning, and the clouds around him surged. Rain fell from the sky. The 4 precept fragments fought against the 2 half-saints. For a moment, the momentum was amazing. The Crimson Dragon was not at a disadvantage either. He even beat the 2 half-saints, who screamed in pain. Damn it, he was also an expert. He used all kinds of dragon magic, and the physique of the Dragon Clan was stronger than theirs. For a moment, the 4 half-saints, Lonesome Wolf, roared wildly. Sixth Uncle saw this scene, and his heart sank a little. If this continued, they would not be able to do anything to the other party. They might even be seriously injured by the other party. In the end, some of them might die here. The 3 of you listened to my order and formed the 4-beast formation. Sixth Uncle roared angrily and bit his finger. The blood of a half-step saint flowed, forming a strange arc with his hand and the fragment of law. It was a mysterious rune with blood-colored power, as if to summon some kind of magic. The other 3 half-saints did the same. Soon, a blood-colored rune formed in front of him. For a moment, an inexplicable connection was formed between the 4 of them. A large formation was formed around the 4 of them, enveloping Lin Xian, Sweat, and the Crimson Dragon. Not good. Ruzalong counterattack. They were forming a formation. Lin Xian let out a long howl, his eyes bursting with a piercing cold light. The sword Qi in his hand became even more terrifying. Sword after sword slashed forward. The Crimson Dragon naturally knew that he couldn't let these people form a formation. He quickly made his move, using a grand divine ability of the dragonfolk to fly forward. However, the four half-saints were determined to use this technique. Their speed was incomparably fast. They simply didn't try to fight back. Instead, they quickly dodged. Moreover, as half-saints, the speed at which they formed seals was extremely fast. Thus, the formation was about to be completed. At this time, the little snow-white monkey made its move, arriving in front of a half-saint in an instant. It reached out its little claws and slapped the other party's face. Bang! He knocked the other party unconscious in an instant. The Crimson Dragon seized the opportunity and swung its claws, tearing the opponent's body apart. Roar! The half-saint screamed. His body split open, and blood immediately flowed out. The formation also paused. It was not completed yet. There was only one last step left. Not good. Sixth uncle's pupils constricted. Damn it. There's something wrong with that monkey too. They were all half-saints. They were so powerful, but they were knocked unconscious by the other party's slap. There was definitely something wrong with that. The half-saint's body was shattered. He screamed crazily, but soon he reformed. At his level, although the injury was serious, it was not enough to kill him. After the wounds healed, he roared and blood-colored light shot up into the sky. His body suddenly grew larger, and his robe was shredded to pieces, leaving only a suit of battle armor. His appearance also changed. Silver-white wolf fur appeared on his body, a tail appeared on his back, and his claws became sharp. His human head also turned into a wolf's head. His green eyes were emitting a terrifying light. True form. The other party had transformed into his true form. Moreover, the power of his bloodline was fully activated. He waved his wolf claws, tearing the void apart. He grabbed at the little snow-white monkey. At the same time, the other hand formed the last rune. Suddenly, the formation of the four beasts was formed. The millions of miles of space where Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were completely turned blood red. The little snow-white monkey quickly dodged the other party's wolf claws. It made faces in the sky and spat. However, at this moment, the blood-red light in the void stretched out four blood-red arms. Each of them had bright blood-red patterns on it. The appearance of the four arms was very strange. As soon as they appeared, they sealed a small space. That small space was where the little snow-white monkey was. Buzz! The four arms grabbed the little snow-white monkey. Not good, the Crimson Dragon exclaimed, and wanted to rush over, but the other half-saint cooperated with the formation to resist. In the distance, Lin Xian also frowned. He was also stopped by sixth uncle and the other half-saint. Get lost! Lin Xian knocked the two half-saints back with a sword, but soon the two half-saints rushed over. Are you trying to kill us? Impossible. This time, the monkey will definitely die. You're courting death. Lin Xian was angry. His eyes shone with a cold light, and powerful sword Qi rose from his body. In an instant, he shot out 48,000 rays of sword Qi. The terrible light shrouded sixth uncle and the other half-saint. The next moment, the two half-saints screamed. Thousands of cracks appeared on their bodies. They were densely packed and spread all over their bodies. Their eyes were filled with horror. Sixth uncle roared, "Damn monkey, go to hell." The arm exerted force, and the blood-red light filled the sky. It could tear everything apart. Not good. Lin Xian sensed a slight threat from it. It was definitely capable of tearing apart the body of a half-saint. The little snow-white monkey was in danger. It was impossible to rush over now, but he would not give up. he formed a seal with his hands. In the sky, a golden eye appeared with a powerful and mysterious power. The golden runes spun rapidly, forming a terrible flame that floated down. Suddenly, the surrounding blood-red mist was all set ablaze. However, even more mist floated out and formed layers upon layers of blood-colored walls, protecting the 4 blood-colored palms. At this moment, the blood-red palms exerted force. With a squelch, the void was completely crushed. "No, Whitey!" Lin Xian roared. His eyes were red. The little snow-white monkey was his companion. Along the way, it had helped him find many treasures, but he did not expect that it would be killed by the other party now. His eyes were red. "If Whitey dies, I'll bury the entire Lonesome Wolves with it." Lin Xian's voice was so cold that Sixth Uncle and the other 3 half-saints trembled. They seemed to have provoked an extremely powerful being. Damn it! On the other side, the Crimson Dragon was also roaring. "Ben Huang will not let you go. Ben Huang will beat you Lonesome Wolves and break your necks one by one. Then he will eat all of you." His eyes were red. He and the little snow-white monkey had established a deep relationship. Just as the 2 of them were in despair, a muffled voice came from the blood-red void in front of them. Then it turned into a roar. Then the blood-red palms shattered and a white figure rushed out of the void. Chapter 3243. Whitey and Lin Xian exclaimed. The Crimson Dragon heaved a sigh of relief. Everything was fine. That was great. Sixth Uncle and the others narrowed their eyes. Not dead? How was that possible? Could it be that this monkey was also a half-saint? He could not believe that all 3 of them were half-saints. Where did they come from? One had to know that the Lonesome Wolf clan had produced so many half-saints because they had a long history and were powerful. Their clan was extremely powerful in the universe. However, they did not know the other party at all. Previously, they had thought that the other party was just someone from a small world and would not be able to withstand a single blow. But now they realized that they were wrong. The other party was too mysterious. The 2 companions beside him were also very mysterious. Damn it! How was that possible? The monkey was not dead. The half-saint was also stunned. He looked at the scene in front of him and was extremely shocked. The little white monkey flew out of the blood-red void. Its little face had become a little cold, and its big black eyes were shining with a trace of golden light. In the next moment, a shocking change happened. Buzz, his body abruptly grew in size, and countless bolts of lightning and radiance surrounded his body. It seemed to have turned into an ape king. Boom! With a punch, it destroyed everything. The half-saint was smashed into pieces. A miserable voice was heard. The half-step saint was screaming in the void. However, in the next moment, Whitey opened its mouth and swallowed the half-saint's soul. This scene was simply too shocking. They did not expect the little white monkey to have such a change. Even the Crimson Dragon and Lin Xian were stunned. One had to know that the little white monkey had always been very cute. Although it had a special ability, it was very fast. Its speed was extremely fast, and it could knock people unconscious. Moreover, it could also search for treasures. However, other than that, its combat strength was not very strong. Lin Xian did not plan to let the little white monkey fight. The little white monkey's search for treasures was very important to him, and he was very happy about it. However, who would have thought that the little white monkey would suddenly undergo a shocking change? The cute furball had turned into an indomitable ape king. Moreover, that power was extremely terrifying. A single strike had shattered a half-saint. In fact, he had even sucked in his opponent's soul. He had killed a half-saint with just a wave of his hand. Damn it, what is this thing? The other two half-saints of the Lonesome Wolf tribe were stunned. Even the sixth uncle was dumbfounded. "Sixth uncle, what's going on?" the other two asked crazily. Sixth uncle's face was gloomy as he stared at the imposing figure in front of him, his eyes flickering. Damn it, why is it so similar to that thing in the legends? But that was impossible. Wasn't that thing extinct a long time ago? The sixth uncle was deeply shocked. He had a guess in his mind, but he quickly rejected it as soon as it appeared. Impossible. That thing couldn't possibly exist. However, what was going on with the scene before him? Could it be that it was related to that thing? Or perhaps he possessed a trace of the other party's bloodline? Thinking of this possibility, sixth uncle felt that it was very likely. His face turned cold. Damn it, let's go. These people are too strange. Whether it was Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, or the sudden appearance of Whitey, they were all beyond their expectations. If they continued to fight, they would probably be in danger. Therefore, the three of them turned around and wanted to leave. Roar. Just as the three of them moved, an earth-shattering roar came from behind them. The four beasts formation they had formed was instantly torn apart. Not only that, a terrifying white light came toward them. In an instant, a huge monster appeared in front of them. With a wave of its hand, it had the power to sweep away the world. Oh no! The three of them tried their best to dodge. At this moment, the little white monkey stared at one of the half-saints. Once again, it clawed down and crushed him. It sucked hard and sucked in the soul of the half-saints. Damn it, run. Ignite your bloodline. Sixth uncle screamed crazily. The other party was too strange. He didn't dare to fight against it at all. The two of them used all their strength, and their bodies bloomed with blood-red light. Behind them, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon took a deep breath. They still didn't understand what was going on with Whitey. But now, there was no time for them to think about it. They had to kill the Lonesome Wolf clan first, and then slowly interrogate them. The two of them also unleashed their strength, and the precepts danced on their bodies. Lin Xian turned into a dragon shadow and turned into a sword light, rushing over quickly. Sixth uncle and the half-saints had already lost their will to fight. Under the attack of the little white monkey, they were scared out of their wits. At this moment, with the addition of Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon, they were forced to retreat. The young half-saint was pierced through by Anham's 5 lightning precepts. Then the little white monkey smashed him with a slap and sucked his soul into its stomach. As for sixth uncle, Lin Xian used the precepts of metal and the dragon sword soul to split him in half. His soul was also swallowed by the little white monkey. Everyone was killed. Lin Xian began to collect their spiritual boats and storage rings. The Crimson Dragon collected all their flesh and blood. The Lonesome Wolf clan had a rich bloodline and powerful strength. These things were very useful to him. The little snow white monkey continued to roar. Its huge and majestic body slowly shrunk until it turned into a small furry ball. Oh! The little white monkey opened its eyes, and there was a trace of confusion in its black, gem-like eyes. Seeing this, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon stopped what they were doing and quickly flew over. "Are you okay?" Lin Xian asked with concern. The Crimson Dragon beside him also said, "Little one, did you take the wrong medicine?" The little white monkey was very confused. Then it waved its little paw and pointed at Lin Xian and said in a childish voice, "Lin Xian." Hearing this voice, Lin Xian was stunned. The little white monkey could actually speak. It was too shocking. One had to know that he was very shocked before. How could a spiritual beast like the little white monkey not speak? But he had never seen the little white monkey speak. Now, the little white monkey could finally speak. This made Lin Xian very happy. The Crimson Dragon also hurriedly asked, Little one, what about me? Do you know me? Big bad dragon. The dark red divine dragon was extremely displeased with this form of address. Kid, you should be calling me the Dragon Emperor of the 8 barren lands. The one and only sword comes from the west. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at the crimson dragon and then looked at the little white monkey. What happened just now? Can you transform? What race are you? He had always felt that the little white monkey's origin was very unusual. Chapter 32:44. The snow-white little monkey shook its head, still very confused. Forget it. Lin Xian didn't ask further. He knew that the snow-white little monkey was a mutated species of heaven and earth, so it should be normal for it to have mysterious divine abilities. In any case, the other party would become stronger and stronger in the future. Moreover, the other party didn't encounter any danger, which made him heave a sigh of relief. Next, he put away all the storage rings and spirit boats of the Heaven Fiend Lone Wolf clan. Then, the two of them returned to the spirit boat and flew quickly. They flew towards the elven planet. The Heaven Fiend Lone Wolf clan had several half-sages, and the resources in their storage rings were very rich. Therefore, Lin Xian had obtained quite a lot of things from this operation. Among them, there were many divine crystals. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Previously, he had spent almost all his divine crystals to inquire about the Tao Stone. Originally, he had a headache, but now the Heaven Fiend Lone Wolf clan had given him so many divine crystals. It was enough for him to cultivate for this period of time. Next, Lin Xian and the others began their seclusion. He, too, controlled the spirit boat and flew in the universe. In another place, in the pitch-black universe, a man who looked like a demon was riding a dragon boat. In front of him, there was a light screen with a light spot that was moving quickly. The great demon looked at the moving light spot on the light screen and snorted coldly. I want to see where you can escape to. Half a year passed in cultivation. Lin Xian, the crimson dragon, and the others opened their eyes. They were almost at their destination. After flying for another 2 months, a green planet finally appeared in front of them. The green planet was too strange and was very different from other worlds. Green light surrounded it and emitted a dense vitality. What a powerful power of wood! Lin Xian was shocked. He also had a fragment of the law of wood, so he could naturally feel the powerful vitality of the world below. This should be the elven planet, right? These green lights were all forests. Beside him, the crimson dragon was also shocked. He had never seen a world with such a vast forest, which accounted for more than 90% of the world. Let's go! Lin Xian waved his hand and sped up the spirit ship. They entered the elven planet. Half a day later, Lin Xian and company walked out of the spirit boat. He put away the spirit boat with the little white monkey sitting on his shoulder. The crimson dragon followed beside him, and the three of them looked around. As far as the eye could see, it was a boundless primeval forest with luxuriant foliage. All kinds of rare and precious beasts were running and roaring within. The vitality here was very strong. Where was the elf forest? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Although most of this place was a primeval forest, it should be divided into many regions. That's easy. The crimson dragon swung its tail, turned into a phantom, and rushed down. Soon, he flew up with a demonic beast in his hand. This was a 9-star demon king. It was originally an overlord in the forest, but in front of the crimson dragon, it was trembling. Spare me, this 9-star demon king was trembling. The crimson dragon snorted coldly. If you want to live, tell us where the elf forest is. So the three of you want to go to the elf forest? That's easy. I'll bring you there. The demon king's body trembled, and soon the crimson dragon released its dragon claws. The 9-star Demon King's body transformed into a flying demonic beast that was tens of thousands of meters long. He said, "Come on up, I'll bring you there now." Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, and the little white monkey got on the back of the flying demonic beast and turned into a stream of light that flew into the distance. After flying for another day, the demonic beast finally stopped. He said, "Below us is the elf forest. The elf forest is very large, but the dark green area ahead is the depths of the elf forest. It's very dangerous there." At this point, a hint of fear appeared in his eyes. Clearly, this place was also a forbidden area for them. "All right, you can go." Lin Xian waved his hand and didn't kill them. The Demon King was so excited that it was about to cry. It turned into a gust of demonic wind and quickly fled. "Is this the elf forest?" The Crimson Dragon looked around in surprise. He looked at the little white monkey and wondered if there were any treasures below. "Yeah, I think there are a lot of good things." Little White waved its little claws, and its big gem-like eyes shone brightly. "Needless to say, there should be a lot of natural treasures and rare fruits below. Let's go down and take a look." Since they had come to the elf forest, Lin Xian wasn't in a hurry. He would collect some resources first. In the next moment, the three of them flew down. The elf forest was indeed terrifying. There were hordes of demonic beasts. Just the outside was already very dangerous. However, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were extremely powerful. When the two of them worked together, they could easily kill everything. Countless demon kings prostrated themselves on the ground, not daring to resist. Under the lead of the little white monkey, they obtained a lot of good things. These were all spirit herbs and spirit fruits that contained extremely strong energy, and most of them were recovery type. As expected of the elven planet, the vitality of the forest here was so exuberant. That was indeed the case. Lin Xian keenly observed that the life forms of the plants and beasts around him were much stronger than the beasts of other worlds. This should be a wood-type star, and the power of wood on it was very dense. That was why such a scene was created. "I wonder where the wood Dao stone is." Lin Xian's eyes scanned the surroundings. Her soul spread out in all directions like a tide. Soon, it covered a radius of 1,000,000 miles. Nothing. He frowned slightly. He had the Sun Dao stone in his hand, so he could naturally sense the aura of the other Dao stones. The aura of the Dao stones was extremely mysterious. The Dao runes contained on them were very special. If there was one, he should have been able to sense it immediately. It seemed that there was nothing outside. It should be in the depths. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's expression turned solemn. His eyes erupted with a piercing golden light as he activated the heavenly secret divine eyes to the extreme. They transformed into two mysterious runes that pierced through the void and looked into the distance. His gaze pierced through everything and soon saw the depths of the elf forest. But in the next moment he frowned. Under the heavenly secret divine eyes, he indeed sensed a mysterious power. However, when he wanted to take a closer look, he realized that that place was covered by a mysterious aura. Even so, he couldn't see through it. Lin Xian retracted his gaze. The Crimson Dragon beside him asked, "Kid, what did you see? Is there a wood-type Dao stone?" "I didn't see it. The depths of the elf forest are indeed not ordinary. There is a mysterious aura that blocks my observation. However, I did feel an extremely strong life force. Perhaps it should be the Dao stone. Moreover, with the news of the Langya star, it shouldn't be wrong. It seems that we are very lucky this time. This wood-type Dao stone hasn't been obtained by anyone else yet." Chapter 3245. Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, and Snow White Little Marquis walked towards the depths of the elven forest. At the same time, another group of people landed on the elven planet. It was a man in purple clothes. He had a handsome face and a trace of evil in his eyes. Behind him were two followers, but they were also very powerful and had comprehended a level close to the Tao. "Master, this is the elven planet." A servant beside him hurriedly took out a scroll and opened it. The sky flickered, and a map of the elven planet appeared. The servant pointed at the forest above and said, "This was the elven forest. Elven forest? The octatic treasure snake should be inside. Let's go." The man in purple swayed and flew forward. The two servants behind him quickly followed. On the other side, in the forest, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were very fast. They shuttled through and finally arrived at the depths of the elven forest. This was a forbidden area, so ordinary people wouldn't come here. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon didn't encounter anyone along the way other than beasts. However, after arriving at the depths of the forest, there were fewer beasts around. But thinking about it, there should still be some. Although there were fewer beasts, their strength would probably increase exponentially. Not long after the two of them entered, they were attacked. There was a tree demon around them that was very terrifying. The vines that filled the sky carried extremely strong power as they stabbed towards Su Chun and the Crimson Dragon. At the same time, the two of them felt the blood in their bodies churning, as if they were about to be sucked dry. Boom! The Crimson Dragon opened its mouth and spat out lightning in all directions. Thunder would. Instantly, the vines of these plants were sent flying. On Lin Xian's side, he also used the law of metal, forming a terrifying sword light that slashed forward. With a slash of his sword, a vacuum was formed in front of him. Soon, they left the range of the tree demon. But not long after, Lin Xian frowned. The Crimson Dragon also snorted coldly as a cold light erupted from its eyes. I'm a little dizzy." Xiao Bai sat on Lin Xian's shoulder and shook its head as if it was drunk. "Little guy, be careful. This flower is poisonous." Lin Xian looked at Little White and injected some energy into it. Humph! He snorted coldly, and countless sword chi rose up, completely enveloping them. There must be a very poisonous flower in the surroundings that affected them. However, Lin Xian had the great dragon sword spirit and could destroy everything. Even if there were poisonous flowers, they were not afraid. After the sword chi enveloped them, it quickly isolated them from the poison. Lin Xian's group continued onward. During this period, they encountered all kinds of demonic beasts. Some of them had even reached the half-saint level. Fortunately, Lin Xian and the Crimson Divine Dragon were powerful enough to rely on their various abilities to safely pass through. Otherwise, if it were any other half-saint, they would have perished here. No wonder no one dared to come here. This was indeed a very dangerous place. However, it wasn't as if Lin Xian and the others didn't return empty-handed. Although this place was dangerous, other martialists rarely came here. As a result, the treasures here were very old. Lin Xian found a few 9,000-year-old king herbs. He even found a small tree that was very old and had an extremely strong power. According to the Crimson Dragon's speculation, it should be more than 10,000 years old. Lin Xian was very tempted. He picked the spiritual fruits on it and gave them to the Crimson Dragon and Little White. He put away the rest. He even picked some leaves. It was an unexpected harvest. After doing this, they walked forward even faster. These could only be considered unexpected surprises. His main goal was the wood attribute Tao stone. Gradually, a gray fog appeared in front of them, enveloping the entire area. Poisonous gas. Lin Xian frowned. It seemed that the path ahead would become even more dangerous. He displayed his sword chi even more bitingly cold, almost forming a sword-shaped small world. Their group was extremely powerful and had the power to destroy everything. The group walked into the poisonous gas. This time, they were attacked even more. In addition to these tree demons, there were also all kinds of monsters. It was impossible to guard against. Suddenly, they stopped because there were a few corpses in front of them. These corpses had no flesh and blood. Only bones were left. However, these bones were extremely unusual. Although they were broken and scattered on the ground, there was a light circulating on them. They carried a terrifying power. Obviously, these were the bones of a powerhouse. It seemed that this person was at least a half-saint powerhouse. The Crimson Dragon waved its claws and grabbed the bones to examine them closely. Lin Xian also frowned. He found that although these bones were circulating with a mysterious aura, there were also many black spots on them. It was obvious that they had been poisoned to death. It seemed that there were at least 3 half-saint corpses here. He didn't know if they were companions or if they had been attacked. However, it was obvious that they hadn't killed each other. Instead, they had been killed by the terrifying existence here. Be careful. They took a deep breath and continued to walk forward. After walking for about 30 minutes, Lin Xian's eyes suddenly burst with a piercing light. The Crimson Dragon also exclaimed, "There was someone. There was indeed someone in front of them." However, the aura was very weak. Lin Xian and the others sped up and flashed over. There was a small stream in front of them. Beside the stream, there was a figure lying there. That person's armor was broken. His hair was disheveled, and his body was covered in blood. There were huge cracks on his body that had been forcibly torn open. Meanwhile, that person couldn't heal the cracks at all. They were black in color, carrying extremely powerful poison. Hearing the sound of something breaking through the air in front of them, the person by the river raised his head with difficulty, revealing a pale face. Lin Xian could see that this was a young warrior. Moreover, it seemed that he should be a genius. He was very powerful and had reached the half-saint level. However, he was now seriously injured. Not only his body, but also his soul seemed to have been severely injured. "Save me, quickly save me." Seeing that someone was coming, the man hurriedly cried for help. However, as soon as he spoke, he spat out a large amount of blood that pierced through the void. Seeing this, Lin Xian frowned. However, he still struck out a beam of the law of wood and poured it into the man's body. Immediately, the man felt a vitality enveloping him. "What's going on? Who attacked you? Is there a terrifying existence in front of you?" The Crimson Dragon also flew over and asked with a frown. He gave the man a few more pills, and the man breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank you for saving my life. I can't thank you enough. However, I advise you to leave quickly. There is a terrifying existence in front of you. It's too terrifying. We can't kill him at all. However, he can easily kill us. This time, we had 5 half-saints working together. However, except for me, the others were all killed." You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.